Hello and welcome back to another episode of Spawn Traps Hit Pause MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse podcast that may be Captain America, but we're not Steve Rogers. I'm Till. I'm joined once again by Jordan.
Hello, hello.
Hi, and we haven't done one of these in a while, but there hasn't really been a lot of Marvel stuff
Yeah,
available. We're in a Marvel drought.
very dry.
Very dry. It's a very dry. More than one ways for people in our area right now. But we're gonna be talking about some Deadpool Wolverine. We haven't watched it or anything, but the movie's coming out very soon. So we're just gonna be talking about our hype levels. We're not really. Our intention is not to bring spoilers. I think to Deadpool and Wolverine because we're so close to the movie. I know this is a spoiler podcast, so we will be spoiling other stuff. Um, but I think we'll keep it to whatever we've seen from trailers and stuff. Um, I don't know what trailers have you seen. You've only seen like one?
Trailers?
Yeah.
I watched Brave New World. I watched The
No,
Last
for
Dance.
Deadpool.
Oh, for
Deadpool.
Deadpool. I watched the two. I watched both trailers. I watched both the teaser and then the
I've watched
first
so
main one.
many trailers. Like I've just it seems like um every week there's been like a couple trailers.
Yeah, there's so much stuff coming out. Honestly, they all
Yeah.
look like kind of the same to me, and then they just add like an extra scene or something. But I don't want to watch too much because I'm like, I already
Don't,
know I'm gonna
yeah,
go see
I,
it.
I would say don't because like every trailer is like, yeah, they show the same stuff. It's clear like they
Yeah,
don't want to spoil a lot of stuff in the movie, so they show a lot of the same things in the movie. However, that said, every single trailer is just like, here's one big spoiler, like a character tease or revealing a character, right?
yeah.
Um, so it's like if you're watching all the trailers, you're gonna be spoiled a lot. So I don't think we'll get into
I
that.
I watched trailers for doing this podcast so we can talk about it and like get a little bit of info to hype me up. But I already know I'm gonna see it, so I'm like, man, this what like the trailers just like every time you watch one, they just add too much. Like it's just too much, it's too much, it's too much. They never leave any like thing like big in theaters anymore. Like when they uh had Patrick Stewart in
Multiverse
um
Madness.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, you spoiling that in the trailer, like them putting that in the trailer was so stupid. I was
They
like, it
did
would have been
that like right after the movie was released, I think, in theaters.
no, I remember it before. I remember it before. They didn't show his
They had the
face.
voice,
The
yeah,
voice,
the
yeah,
voice,
and the
yeah.
voice ruined it because I was like, that's Patrick Stewart, right? And everyone's like, yeah, Magneto or not Magneto,
Uh, Professor
Professor
X,
X.
yeah.
And I was like, fuck. I'm like, that's cool, but like that would have been way more hype
Hmm.
in the theater to see him. But then the big hype in the theater was the cameo of Fantastic Four John Krasinski. So at least it had that still. But
Yeah, that's true. And we had Black Bolt. You're
yeah,
forgetting about Black Bolt,
yeah.
the
Well,
cameo
I didn't.
everybody loved.
Yeah,
um,
there's just too much sometimes. So
yeah, I think that's the case with Deadpool and Wolverine. Unfortunately, like it would have been nice to have like some of these character surprises. I'm not gonna say who the characters are.
yeah,
Um, uh, Yeah, there's actually a huge list of them. I'm expecting more, honestly. I think they're only giving us like a small amount, like stuff that we've been expecting, like
yeah.
people we've been expecting, and then they're saving the rest for like big reveals for the movie.
Oh, and
Um,
every week I hear something. I have no, it's not confirmed or whatever. I just always hear
a
like,
lot of
"Oh, did you
rumors for
hear?"
this one,
I
yeah.
so much, man. Like every day, like I feel like it's Ryan Reynolds just leaking rumors to like think that this movie's gonna be the
I mean,
biggest thing ever.
that's how the first movie got greenlit was that he leaked the test footage in
Yeah,
for the first one.
but they yeah, like they're like as everyone's like Daniel Radcliffe is gonna be a Wolverine, and then everyone's like, oh,
Hmm.
Carl Urban is gonna be a Wolverine, and I'm
Yeah.
like, man, there's so much in this. Like it's just like just keep doing like everything. I like the Uh, I don't know. That's I just it's the trailer was great. I thought it was fantastic. I like a
Yeah.
little I see all the little stuff, but I try not to watch too much because I already know I'm gonna go see it in theaters. So
Yeah, yeah. I don't care so much about spoilers. I know I'm gonna have a good time in this
I
movie
think
anyway.
Kevin Feige said that like if you rank Deadpool the MCU movies is like the most important, and like saying like Endgame was like the number one biggest, and then Infinity War was second. He said that Deadpool and Wolverine would be like the third.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Like he
I
said
have
as like big movies, I think is what he said. So
I
or
have watched
whatever.
some interviews with Kevin Feige or read interviews as well, and he's said a lot of things similar to that effect. Obviously, this movie is going to be a big one for X-Men, he said, because this is like the first big X-Men movie for Marvel
Right.
Studios. Um, but yeah, he's basically what everybody's saying. Himself, the director, Ryan Reynolds and Wolverine, is that yeah, this movie's rated R. It's got a lot of action. There's a lot of connection to the MCU, but for the most important thing is that it's about friendship. So
Yeah.
that's what they've said. So that's the vibes going into this movie.
Wasn't the second one all about family? The second one was like he's like
Yeah,
this is a
yeah, the F
family
word.
movie or it's a Chris. So yeah, it's all about family. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, the first one
Uh,
was it was like it was a love story or something, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
this one's a family movie, and the next
hmm
one, this one's about friendship. Yeah,
one thing I do want to bring up from the trailer, and I don't consider this a spoiler, but I don't know, maybe a lot of maybe some people will, but I mean this
yeah.
stuff's been out for months, I think at this point. I want to find the shot in this trailer here. I just saw it and I'm like, that is the best thing ever. So I'm gonna get rid of the visual context rectangle. And this shot in the trailer, the first trailer right here, where he's fighting Wolverine. Okay, well we can we just stop
Oh
right there.
yeah, nice
Um,
stop, huge stop.
yeah. So
Spoiler:
where's
Deadpool doesn't have nuts.
so it's fight. First of all, we got the 20th Century Fox logo in the background, which is hilarious.
Hmm.
But when he's like swinging at Deadpool and stuff, that exact choreography was from the first Spider-Man movie, from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, when Flash Thompson is punching Peter Parker. They
Oh
copied
yeah,
the moves one to one from that movie. You can play both scenes side by side, and they're the
yeah.
exact same.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I wonder who finds that out.
People
Unless they
found
leak.
that out pretty quick when the first
Yeah,
trailer came out because I saw the gifs of it and everything.
hilarious.
So yeah, we're looking forward to this. I don't know if we need to say much more on this, because
What
we're
do you think? I was just curious about your opinion. Like, what do you
yeah.
think the main storyline is going to be in this? Like, if you had a guess. Because
Um,
obviously we saw in the trailer the TVA are involved.
yeah, yeah.
So for Loki fans, that's gonna be huge. But I'm like, what is this? He already rescued his girlfriend, right? Or his fiance, whatever. He already rescued
I'm
her
gonna
in the
I'm gonna base theories on a lot of what I've seen from the trailers. So I don't know
yeah.
how deep you want me to go on that. If you want
Sure,
that
go
question.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, this is gonna be spoiler territory here. I well,
Possibly.
yeah, possibly.
We're
We'll keep
respect
the
it.
okay. Well, then,
Yeah,
if it's possible, then I'll get rid of the visual rectangle, and then we'll
sure.
discuss. Um, I think this movie is so it's hard to say for sure. Um, I don't know. Like, I feel like this is gonna be a send off to these characters, except for
That's
Deadpool, because
yeah.
you gotta have Deadpool in the MCU, right?
Right.
But the whole purpose is that it seems like his timeline or world is in danger, like all the
Mhm.
people that he loves. Um, so he's trying to save them. But at the same time, it seems like he doesn't have a lot going on in his life where he's
Yeah.
looking for a change, he's looking for something new, and he's excited about this prospect of joining the MCU or going on this adventure with Wolverine. So I think that might just be the catalyst for him joining the MCU. And I think you know what there is I think there is precedent for Hugh Jackman to stay in the MCU. Like
Yeah.
we've talked before about how we want a whole new X-Men. We're done with the Fox X-Men. We've had our time with them. We're ready for something new and ready for the MCU to put in their version of the X-Men that
Right.
fits for the MCU. Um and I still feel that way. There is precedent though for Hugh Jackman to stay in the MCU. It sounds like he loves doing this from all the interviews and stuff. He said after he said he was done with Logan, he said 3 days later he watched Deadpool in theaters and he immediately regretted that decision, announcing that he was done with Logan.
Done. Yeah.
And it was his decision. He called Ryan Reynolds the day that they were doing a pitch meeting to Marvel for Deadpool. So
Yeah.
that's how much he wants to be involved with this character. So there is precedent if he wants to stay in the MCU, and if you want to have two Wolverines, because at some point in the comics, there was like multiple Wolverines from other realities in the main comics universe. So
Hmm.
Old Man Logan was in the main Marvel Comics universe. So you could have two Wolverines in the MCU if you wanted to.
Yeah.
That said, I think do you know who the villain is?
I don't. Actually don't tell me even.
I'm
I
not going to
don't.
tell you. I feel like it might not just be Deadpool's reality that's in danger. It might be multiple realities, and
Yeah.
they're just fighting to save everything. So there's some big threat to the TVA and the sacred timeline or multiple timelines,
Right.
because there's no sacred timeline at this point anymore. That I think that's the goal, is just trying to save everything, the different realities from ending. So it's kind of Loki inspired, but beyond that, I don't have a whole lot of ideas. I mean, initially I said I think it was going to be Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, and they're just going
Yeah.
around and like killing all the characters and universes from like Fox and other studios before the MCU, which still
Yeah.
might be the case. It seems like it might be that way from the cameos, but I don't know.
I think you're right about it being a send off to some characters. Um, I I'm hoping it'd be a cool way to like reprise some roles. Like who knows how many rumors I've heard now, but like you know one last like send off to if Robert Downey Jr. came in and it was Tony Stark, and I'm just giving an example. I don't think he's in it, but who
Hmm.
knows? Could be like anything like that. But yeah, so probably gonna see a lot of characters that'd be nice to see one last time. Might be a send off to Hugh Jackman, which is what I thought it was gonna be. If
Yeah,
it's not um, if it's not like if he decides to stay in the MCU, then fine. But I think this would be a good movie to be like his last one. Um, not even sure. Uh,
uh,
yeah,
yeah,
I don't really know what the plan of the movie is gonna be, like the plot, but I do think it's gonna be cool if we see like them jump into a lot of scenes from movies, because a lot of people were saying that scene in the movie, the cold one, looks like Age of Ultron, which
yes, yeah,
yeah, it could be. There's lots of cold scenes in the MCU though. Like I was looking at one, I was like, actually, it kind of looks like something from Thor 2. I thought it was, or Thor 1. There was something that like
interesting. Okay,
was in my mind. Maybe maybe it wasn't Thor. Maybe it was something. There's something, because me and my girlfriend are currently doing a MCU marathon again.
ooh,
So
shit, damn.
yeah, we're going through them all over again. So I don't know if we're gonna add TV series, but we're doing how we usually do it, like the order they come out.
Yeah,
Now we're doing it in like the timeline order. So like we'll watch after Civil
yep,
War, we have to watch Black Widow. So we're doing it in that order. We started with
okay.
Captain Marvel.
That's
So
what you do. You do the timeline order
or Captain.
after you do the
Yeah,
release order.
yeah,
I
yeah.
will
We did,
I will add in stuff that you haven't seen to there. So maybe add in a little bit of Agents of Shield so I have an excuse to rewatch it.
yeah. I like the order they came out in better because the end
Yeah.
credits make more sense. But
Yes.
once we've already watched it, so
That's
yeah,
why if you're watching Marvel stuff for the first time, you have
yeah,
to watch it in release order.
mhm,
Um but it get when you're past Endgame, that's the tricky point. It's like, okay, do I just keep going in the release order? It's like, well, you should really watch all of the Spider-Man movies and all of the X-Men movies. And
yeah.
then it gets into tricky territory from there.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm like, when do I watch Tobey Maguire's Spider Man now? I'm like, where does
yeah,
this fit in? I was like, which they're all mixing in. So I'm like, where do I
yeah,
go?
I would say anytime between Endgame and before No Way Home, because
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I actually think you'd be better off. It'd actually be better to watch them before Far From Home because they have the J. Jonah Jameson cameo at the end credits there.
True.
Yeah, so it'd be probably be best to watch them at that point. We're getting way off topic, but that's fine.
Yeah. But
Um,
anyways, that's yeah. I don't really know where to go with this with the Deadpool, but it looks good. Looks I'm excited for it. We'll probably you and I will find a day that we can go see it in theaters together, and then we'll do
yeah,
a podcast about it. So
for sure. I want to talk a bit about the marketing because it is hilarious. There's this
oh
one here. This is like the first thing I've seen. It's just like, oh, this is a trailer from the movie, and it's just like Wolverine. No, Wolverine doesn't have any claws. He's like, what'd you do? He's like, I melted down your adamantium into these beer bottles for Heineken. we, it's like fake. It's a fake product. It's not actually real. It's
yeah.
Heineken silver. Um, and then there's like several of these. There's Ryan Reynolds Aviation Gin company.
Yeah.
And he made something called the vasectomy,
Oh my god.
where it's a Deadpool and Wolverine drink.
Yeah. Fill a
Um,
tall glass of ice. Wait. I want to know
you
the
want to know the
thing.
recipe? Okay.
As a mixologist, I want to
Okay.
know. Tonic lemon juice.
I don't think that's the whole
That's
thing.
just a. I was gonna say, I was like, that's not a big drink. That's just a tonic and crayon with a splash of lemon.
You
Oh,
need
okay. There's more.
aviation gin.
Yeah, I figured that was the spirit for it. Was the gin.
Yeah. I don't
As a
really know if there's
distiller,
anything else.
I like knowing this. I got
Yeah.
my whole notebook full
There
of
you go.
recipes and stuff. Ah, that looks good.
There's your vasectomy.
Oh, the vasectomy. All right,
And
that's
then
funny. I'll make us
the
some of those when we go see the movie.
yeah. There's a thing for the Bachelorette. He like told
Oh,
Wolverine the Bachelorette was coming.
I did watch this. I watched this one.
Yeah. You kind of get the vibes from because I mean we've seen through some of the trailers what Wolverine is going to be like a little
Yeah,
bit, but he doesn't have too many lines. I
yeah.
think we're getting through the marketing. I think we're getting a better understanding of the type of character that Wolverine is in this movie because it's a very different Wolverine than what we've seen from the X-Men movie.
Do we know if
But
it's supposed to be the same Wolverine or if he's
it's
gonna
not.
be different? He's
It's a different Wolverine.
different Wolverine.
You can
Is this
definitely
gonna be
tell
after
watching
Logan?
this too.
Well,
There's
this
no
is not.
after Logan. This is just
Yeah,
it's a
this
different
right.
timeline.
We're gonna be all over the place. Yeah. So this will be a different Logan. It's not the one that we. That's probably why his suit's different. Then that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we've got the most important thing next. Think of what it is. No, no, okay. This is oh yeah, there's they did this one for like Heinz ketchup where they had like subliminal messaging and they just
Oh my god. It's Heinz condiments, not just
Heinz
ketchup.
condiments, yes.
Wow, that's so
Yeah.
funny. I feel like there's so much more you could do with red and yellow than
Yeah.
ketchup and
Well,
mustard.
they
But
had the theme song, the black and yellow song. They changed it
yeah,
to red and yellow.
red and yellow, Heinz mustard.
Oh yeah,
Um,
there's a Jack in the Box one. This one actually sucks. Like they wasted that promotion.
I think I saw this too, but I
Yeah.
was kind of bored of it and I moved on.
They have
Uh,
another one for Spotify, and they're doing a podcast, just like us.
oh, I definitely seen a lot of these.
Yeah,
I just didn't. I didn't
I
watch them
forgot
all.
about these. I forgot I had them in here. I'm waiting for
Poor Hugh Jackman has to fucking do his hair like that. Ryan
yeah,
Reynolds just throws a mask on, but Hugh's got to do his fucking hair every
yeah.
time.
But
He's got
when
to just
Ryan Reynolds has the mask off, he's got to do the prosthetics every time.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know. But for their like little ads
yeah.
like this, he's not gonna go all full prosthetic for a small little ad.
Here's the thing. Here's the whole reason for this podcast right here. Okay, when we go to the theater, I hope they have this. This is the
Oh yeah,
Deadpool and Wolverine popcorn bucket.
oh yeah. This is.
This is what we need. Right here.
Are you gonna buy that?
If they have it, I'll buy it.
You know what? If they have it, I think I'll buy it because I
Yeah.
know somebody will spend money on that. Like somebody would
Oh, you're
buy
gonna
that off
sell it?
you.
You're gonna flip it?
I'd probably flip it.
I want it as a
Like
novelty.
with the popcorn in it. With the
Yeah.
popcorn in it, I'll sell it too.
Yeah.
Did you
There you
see
go.
the? Oh yeah, there it is.
There you go.
That's it.
Yep.
People are gonna use that for other things other than popcorn
Yeah,
later.
just like the Dune popcorn bucket.
Yeah. Did you see the Xbox controllers?
I did. Do I have that on here? I should
Because
have included that.
those still,
Oh,
if I can buy that
you
controller,
can't though.
I'm buying. I want it.
I know. I wanted to, but every time Xbox does that, it's like it's a limited promotion. For it's like a contest. You have to try to win the
Hmm.
controller or the custom Xbox. They do a lot of those. I think they
Now,
just like showing off the different things that they make, and it somehow is like promotion to buy an Xbox. I don't know how it
yeah,
works, but
my brother sent me. So, although the Deadpool, like the front of the Deadpool one looks cool, and then they, it shows like his tight butt on the
yeah,
back of the controller. So somebody, as a Halo fan, somebody sent that same design to me, but it was like blue, and they color coded it to Cortana's butt, and I was like,
I've seen a
I
lot of
would,
those. I've seen
I was like,
Nightwing. I've
yeah.
seen oh damn, who's I've seen Captain America.
Oh, America's
I've seen
ass,
so
nice.
many.
I was like,
uh,
I would do a Master Chief butt
yeah.
controller.
Speaking
But
about
yeah,
butts, there's a story also I wanted to bring up. After the first trailer, Kevin
yeah.
Feige apparently had to explain to executives what pegging is.
Oh, that's funny.
I just want to bring that up there.
Pegging, yeah,
Yeah.
or sounding. Those are probably two things that people
I don't know
need
if
to
they'll bring
explain.
that into the movie, but damn.
Those are things that people need to know. It like people are always like, "What is that?"
Yeah. All right, so that's anything else we need to say on Deadpool?
No, we'll have a whole podcast to talk about that. So
Yeah, for sure. I want to bring up real quick. The only thing that has happened in the meantime while we've been on a break
yeah,
is that a new series was put out on Disney Plus. Now this isn't technically the MCU. I mean, we're in the multiverse saga. Who knows?
yeah.
But this is Marvel Studios animation. So we've only seen so far. Um, What If, I think, is the only thing. What If and I Am Groot, and have we seen anything else? I think it's pretty much
Animated
it.
wise,
Yeah, from Marvel Studios specifically. I don't think
yeah.
we have.
No, for that I can.
Yeah.
You crushed the two that I would have said.
I actually think they changed their name now to Marvel Animation.
Hmm.
So they had like their own division of Marvel Studios now. But X-Men 97 is a new series that continues off of the actual 90s animated TV series, which I've watched as a kid. I'm sure you've watched.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's watched who's our age. But this continues directly from where that show left off. I've
Oh
tried
wow.
rewatching that show. I have rewatched that show, actually, I should say. It was mostly background noise. I will say that the old 90s show, I personally don't feel like it holds up. A lot of the messaging and everything, and the animation and all that stuff, I think is great. And obviously the characters, costumes, and everything that you love. But I feel like it's such a dated show, and it very much feels that way. My favorite things I like to point up is that sometimes some characters are voicing, like sometimes the voices are on the wrong characters. Everybody has a sci-fi gun in that show because they couldn't use real guns. So like anytime somebody like a conflict needs to resolve or move forward, somebody takes out a gun and shoots somebody, and it doesn't like kill them. It just like stuns them, like oh, and they fall backwards. And it's really hilarious to watch.
This is
Um,
the old version.
yeah, the old version of the show. So it's
Oh,
really
funny.
funny to watch. Like it might be fun to watch like with a group, just try kind of like making fun of the show.
Yeah.
Um, but I've pretty much used it for background noise. Trying to rewatch, catch up to the show before this season started. And honestly, I think like a lot of stuff is just forgettable. I would say if you're not caught up with the show or you've never watched the show and you want to check what this is all about, don't even bother. Just jump right into this. They're going to just like comic books. They're going to bring up stuff that has happened in the past, and you kind of just like pick up the pieces as you're watching, right? This is a continuation, but it's much more designed for us, like people who've grew up with the show and have grown up. It is much more mature. The animation is so much better. The stories are epic and incredible. And it's like I was not expecting this out of the show, and it was so well done. So I didn't really have a lot of expectations for the show, but it's like I really don't have any negatives about it. I think they've done a fantastic job, and I'm actually looking forward to the next season.
Hmm.
Just my brief thoughts.
Yeah. I didn't watch a whole lot of X-Men stuff shows. I definitely watched some, but I definitely
Yeah,
didn't like. It didn't like. I didn't linger with it. I didn't stick with it a lot. So.
this was WB Kids every Saturday.
Oh yeah, no, I
So
remember watching them. I couldn't even like. I bet
yeah,
if I watched like a trailer of it or something, or like watch an episode,
yeah,
I'd have like, maybe some nostalgia. But I didn't watch as much as some other stuff, like Spider-Man or
yeah.
Batman stuff.
Well, before the show even started, bit of controversy. The showrunner for the show got fired. Marvel fired him,
Hmm.
and I still don't think we know why. It's still a mystery. But it's got to be bad because he did. We'll get rid of the visual context rectangle. His name, I should have it here. Um, yeah. So the creator for the show, Bo DeMayo. Um,
It sounds like we try to spice up bowl of mayo.
Bo
They call
DeMayo.
me Boda Mayo.
Yeah, he worked on all of season one. Worked on the writing for season two, which I just read. They might be. I didn't see it from a reliable source, so I don't know if it's true, but somebody hired on to do the second season. They're going to be rewriting his work on season two. But he did
Mhm.
season one. He wrote season two, and he was working on ideas for season three. And they fired him right before the show even started. So, it's got to be something bad, right? You would
Uh,
imagine.
yeah. Usually they just say that they're like, they're like, well, they let them go through like pending investigation and stuff. But if you just straight
Investigation into
fired them,
what
then
though? We don't know. There's like nothing.
yeah. That's why like maybe there's no investigation. Maybe they already got him on something and they just
There's got
has
to
a
be
bit of
some. It's got to be something significant to like because there was a behind the scenes rumor that Taika Waititi got reprimanded in some way from Marvel Studios because paparazzi took a picture of him making out and hanging out with Tessa Thompson and what seemed like was going to be like a three-way or something while they're on like vacation. There's like a whole news story on that,
hmm,
and I'm just like, hey, like he didn't. That's his personal life. Like,
yeah.
fuck off.
I don't know what he could have done to get
Yeah,
fired so easily, but damn. So they just
yeah,
have somebody else doing all the show stuff instead of him now.
yeah. Well, he specifically worked on X-Men, so I think they just have somebody to replace his role in X-Men, and I think just like heading the show and the direction of it and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sucks. But I'm looking forward to the second season regardless. Voice acting is
Yeah.
phenomenal too.
Hmm.
Next up, we've got trailer for Captain America: Brave New World.
Nice.
We both
I
watched this
like.
trailer. What did you think? Or this is gonna be spoiler territories right here. I'm just gonna let you know.
It's true.
Go ahead.
If you haven't watched the trailer yet,
Yeah.
uh, I like. I like Sam Wilson. I'm excited for him to be uh, Captain America now, but
Hmm.
I I don't know. Actually, maybe I should say that to the end. But um, I don't know. The trailer looks good. I don't really entirely remember what I think it's supposed to be about because I don't know if I saw a villain in it. But I don't. I'm not as excited for Red Hulk as I think everybody else might be. But I don't know. Like I just they made Red Hulk look so small, and he doesn't.
I think that's it's just one brief shot. We'll get a better image
I
of
don't
him
know. He
later.
looks small. He
Yeah.
didn't look as aggressive as like the beginning of like Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Um, like I just want that raw, pure anger that's uncontrollable. like back like with Edward Norton's Hulk. So like watching the downgrade of Hulk, I was like, man, this kind of like I don't want to watch this again. I was like, you should have fixed Hulk the first time. Also, the villain, I forget that actor's name, but man, that guy's just the villain of everything, and I
Um,
like him,
yeah.
but I'm finding him very overused because he's like the same villain and
Yeah.
everything. And when I saw him in this, I forgot that I saw him already.
Giancarlo, I'm
Yeah,
butchering his name. I
I
know
like
he's
him, but dude, he's in everything, and I was like, oh, this
yeah.
guy
That's the
again.
only shot we got of the Hulk. Is right there. It's like 1 second.
I
Like
know.
I don't know how you can really. Oh shoot, I'm pulling up. Hold on.
I don't like that it looked like he. I saw a shot. I thought, or I saw him warping Captain America's shield, which I also didn't like. I didn't
Oh,
like
was
that
it
he could.
warped?
I don't know about that one for sure, but I thought I saw a shot in a different, maybe it was a different scene or something,
Okay.
because I know they only showed him at the
You want
end,
you want to go
and then
like
I thought,
frame by frame on this, or is that too much?
I don't know, that looks fine. It looks fine in that shot where he just slams it in the ground. It
Yeah.
obviously penetrates the ground with
That's the only
Hulk
shot we have of him.
angle. I thought I saw somebody else post something that showed it being warped. So maybe it was a fan, like a fan was editing something.
It's
But
probably like yeah, modded like an edited clip or something.
all I know is if you warp that shield, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. It's like one of my favorite weapons in the
Well,
MCU.
what
So
about
don't.
when Thanos fucking ripped it in half?
No, that was a fitting end to it. But then we got it
Yeah.
back, and I was like, good, okay, good, good. It's all
From a
fixed.
different time, we're gonna have this argument again. It's
Yeah.
brought back from a different time.
Yeah, I was like, let's not get into time travel. We'll be here all night. Let's not do this.
um,
Argue that it makes sense or doesn't make sense all day long. We could argue.
yeah. I'm gonna frame this. Gonna go frame by frame this here because it is a short teaser, and there's a lot of. I think there's actually a lot of stuff in this teaser that we can talk about. Like first of all, Harrison Ford as General or President Ross now
President Rossi.
has become president, um, taking over for William Hurt. And I was wondering, we're gonna get the mustache? No mustache. But
Yeah.
I honestly think it's because if he is turning into Red Hulk, because they didn't want to animate the mustache.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I was like, really? I was like, Harrison Ford didn't want to
Yeah,
grow a mustache for this awesome role. Because I
yeah.
was like, Harrison Ford could grow a mustache for us, but
Have you
they
seen?
did.
I was thinking about that though. I'm like, yeah. I'm like Harrison Ford looks good in a mustache. I'm like, have I seen him in? Has he ever grown a mustache? Have you
I
ever
don't
seen him
know.
in anything?
Look him up in the if he was like a in the Western movie Aliens versus Cowboys or Cowboys versus Aliens. He was like
Okay.
I don't know if he's. Let me look up really quickly.
Here's the other thing though. Because I have a couple theories on Red Hulk here. Like I think he's gonna
Oh,
become Red Hulk. Because I don't think a lot of people know the story of Red Hulk, and they're not gonna be expecting it. So it's just gonna come out of nowhere for them. And he's big name actor and everything. So that it seems like the right person to turn Red Hulk. Also, he doesn't have to do anything. He just has to provide
I thought
voices every once
wasn't
in a
he
while.
very wasn't he very against the Hulk in those other movies, and then he wanted to turn
hmm
that other guy into Abomination.
So
So why is he?
my theory is so the leader's in this movie, and the leader wants to make the Hulk. The leader is like super into the Hulk. So
Who's the
I think
leader?
the leader was Mr. Blue from the Hulk movie. If you remember.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking it's got to be an accident that he becomes the Hulk, right?
I think I think it's intentional. Not like maybe
Why would you
he
make the
didn't.
president a Hulk?
I don't know if he wanted to become Red Hulk or if the
Yeah,
leader made him Red Hulk, like he turned him
yeah.
into him. But I think like there's something that's gonna go down that's gonna turn him into Red Hulk.
What I
My
don't like is always thought it was like because I know there's all kinds of different creations of stuff, whatever. But I always
yeah,
thought it just worked with his DNA more. I don't
it
like.
did. Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah,
mean that the leader didn't take it and change it and experiment it because that was the kind of the thing in She-Hulk. I mean, you've seen the first episode. Um, how it does involve Bruce Banner's bloodline, right?
yeah,
Um, so that kind of strain of the of like gamma radiation or whatever that is didn't
yeah.
work it wouldn't work on Ross here, but whatever the leader's cooking up could.
For
You
what
know,
you know about Hulk, is it like a temporary thing or is it permanent? Like, do you have to when you take it, do you like Hulk out and then like you go back to normal and then you have to like be injected again, or is it like
or
permanent
Red
now?
Hulk.
Yeah. Do you know?
I don't know fully on his character. When I first read him, which was in or seen his character, which was in Avengers comics.
Yeah.
He clearly appeared in other comics before then. Captain America knew him, knew who he was. He never changed. He was always Red Hulk.
Mm.
It wasn't until later when I saw him in a Thunderbolts comic
Mm.
that I believe he was changing at will. So
By the way, I'm looking at pictures of Harrison Ford with a mustache. He looks like he should play Commissioner Gordon in
uh
the Batman universe. But he does look good with a beard. Like the beard is a better look for Harrison Ford, but the
yeah.
mustache is not so much.
My
Kind of
other
like
theory on this though is that it's gonna be people are gonna be expecting Harrison Ford as Red Hulk, but Marvel's gonna pull a Marvel, and they're gonna have another character become Red Hulk.
yeah.
My theory
Um,
is the villain.
the
What is
villain.
he? The actor we were just talking about,
Yeah. Which
because
I want to say I like him. I just think he's overused in
I
too
like
much
him
thing.
too.
Like he's
Yeah,
always the villain. I'm like, okay, you're gonna be the bad guy.
yeah. Where is he?
Uh,
He'll come up. Like I'm
is
thinking that's gonna be like a twist. Yeah. Oh shit! I just had him. So I think yeah,
yeah.
maybe like he's working with the leader, and then he becomes.
Is that always how the Hulk became? Was he always working on the super soldier serum? Was that always how its origin was? Was it just working on the gamma radiation on like
I think
on
that's the
something?
ultimate. I think that's the ultimate comics version of him. But no, I think in the original comics it's just a freak accident, gamma radiation. They're just testing a bomb or nuclear equipment or something. Here
Yeah.
we have Isaiah Bradley from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier just flipping a switch and just knocking out government schools in the White House.
Who's Isaiah Bradley?
He's the old guy who's the first Captain America, or not the first,
Oh,
not the first, the second, I guess. The second Captain America.
uh,
He's the one
that's
that was
him. It looks
experimented
like
on.
it looks like a younger guy there.
I think he cleaned up for
I
the for
just
whatever it's going on here in the White House. They're like honoring him or something.
oh, because I thought Isaiah Bradley was super old.
There
This guy
goes.
looked that guy looked really young.
Yeah, he looks younger in this movie, but you know they could change stuff in the movie. A lot of times they ignore what happens in TV shows for these movies.
That wasn't Isaiah Bradley. That's Sam.
No, no, no. That's a different shot.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Sam and Isaiah were in the same shot here. There he is. Got the
Okay, yeah. So he's
yeah,
older looking there. Is it the same actor?
same actor, yeah. As far as I know.
Huh.
Also earlier there we got
To look that up. I forget
Joaquin
that guy's.
Phoenix, I think is the character's name. Um, or no, no, it's not.
It's like Joaquin Phoenix, like
No,
the actor.
that's the actor. I fucking forget this guy's name. His name was Joaquin in the show though, right?
I don't know. The guy
I don't
who
know.
gets Sam's wings.
Yeah, the guy who gets Sam's wings. He's gonna
Okay.
become the Falcon. We see a shot later, two Falcons flying around.
Hmm.
So he's the new Falcon.
I was like, Joaquin Phoenix is in this. I
It's
was
gonna
like, what
bug me
trailer did
now.
you watch?
It's gonna bug me now because I know who the character is and I can't think of the name.
I'm gonna look
Um,
up.
yeah, look up the
I just want to see if it's the same actor.
from the
Falcon.
show.
Yeah.
Is we got his new suit. He's not wearing the face thing anymore because it's hard to put that on film. They had to like animate that.
What face thing?
He had the whole like all around white
Oh,
face
right, right. I like
cover.
that. It
I
sucks that
did
they
too,
don't.
but it was kind of like loose and it was hanging, so they had to like digitally make it tight on his face. I
Mm.
guess it was hard to wear.
Shit. That's like the comic book style.
Yeah. Um,
Carl Lumbly plays Isaiah Bradley. Let's see.
who played what's the character's name for? the military guy in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
I just want to see if he's in this movie. I don't see him in the.
No, that's him. It's got to be him. Pretty sure that's him.
Falcon, the Winter Soldier.
Character's
I
name
think
is...
you're right. I think you're right. But he was born in 1951. He's a year younger than my dad. Dude, guy's still moving.
I want to know this character's name now.
The Falcon guy.
Yeah.
The new Falcon.
Joaquin Torres. Not...
Okay. Danny
We got a new character here. This is Sabra. Who's I don't know if she's a villain or a superhero in this movie. I think they got to be very careful with this character because it's an Israeli character. And it's very interesting time to introduce a character like that. We'll just leave it at that. But it's this is going to be another comics character they're introducing in this movie.
Okay, cool. Oh, I'm fine as long as Sam still has his goggles or something. I'm fine with that. I do miss his fucking.
His suit looks good. I do
know.
like the.
I was finally ready for the comic book Falcon. Yeah. Man, we saw it for a little bit at the end of the series, and then it was bye bye.
I heard a theory here. There's a shot of like the White House blowing up.
Yeah.
And I heard a theory that this is a Spider-Man No Way Home situation, where this is an edited clip and we're not seeing somebody there that should be there.
Like Red Hulk running through that.
Red Hulk, yeah.
Yeah, that's my thought too, because we saw the explosion and I was like, me and Jess were like, is that an explosion or is Red Hulk just jumping through that and just demoing it? I was like, they're probably like, doesn't really make sense what was there that would just instantly explode into fire. So maybe that was added, but.
Oh shit! He only has one Red Wing. I thought he had two.
I was gonna say, I was like, Red Wing better be back because I love Red Wing.
Red Wing's there. He just has one though. What happened to the other one? Oh, he's got a helmet. Look at that helmet. It's like an Ant-Man helmet.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right.
Dodge the whole fucking missile.
Now the question is this going to be another one of those, nanotech situations where it appears on his head just by thought?
So kind of like what's his name? Like
every character in the MCU ever since fucking Black Panther.
No, even faster than Black Panther.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but at least he had the little thing behind his ear.
That's an alien thing. I can get that. Black Panther, I get too. It's a technologically advanced nation. Why does every character now, no matter what, like?
Oh, I know. Well,
like, I think wealth class or anything can afford all these nanotech helmets.
My thing was like, I bet it has to do with Wakanda bringing their, at the end of number 2, they're like, we're gonna.
They're not sharing their tech. They're just using their resources to help people. That was the whole thing.
Yeah, but then once you share your resources, if you share a little bit of vibranium, then maybe other people. I don't even know if
vibranium.
It, but
vibranium, I think, is off the table.
Yeah, probably. I was on board when Iron Man had his suit and it went back into his chest piece.
Yeah, I was fine.
I was fine.
Too. Yeah,
but nobody showed us what happened to the suits in Endgame. They would just push it and their whole suits would disappear.
Exactly.
And I was like, where's the suit go? I was like, you gotta at least show me something. Like, tell me you have like a little iPad device that sits on your hip and then it all opens up. Because I was like, that bothered me when like it was like Ant-Man, Tony, and Steve were all in 2012 and Hulk.
Yeah.
And they all traveled via suits and then they all clicked it. And then Hulk was back into just his what was he in? He's like wearing like fucking shorts.
Yeah.
Remember he rips off his shirt. He's like
Yeah.
And he like pretends to be a Hulk or whatever. And I'm like, so where's your nanotech now? I was like, was it on your shirt somewhere or is it on your pants now? Like I was like, I don't know. It didn't make sense.
I'm so glad that for Spider-Man they're bringing his character back to an actual Spider-Man costume. because
Oh,
yeah, it was fun. He had the nanotech suit. Now that's gone, and he's
yeah.
got a stitched suit, so he actually has to put it on and everything now.
Yeah,
Um,
that was needed because otherwise
yeah,
he'd still be more overpowered than like half the characters. It's why
yeah,
Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, like I like it the most because there's so much more sciencey stuff and they showed you all that. Like I don't know, I
yeah.
liked it a lot more.
Then we got the shot of just Sam Wilson just cutting right through a plane.
He's got vibranium wings now though,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yes, he does.
Yeah.
And then we
So
got the other Falcon right here, the flying side by
yeah,
side.
he's got his
Yeah.
wingman back.
And then we
Like
got
that was like supersonic, dude.
yeah.
Like because it's like it's vibranium tech with like vibranium engineering. So that is just like a supersonic. Like that's so fast. So at least now when he uses like his thrusters to throw the shield, at least he's throwing it pretty darn
Oh,
heavy and
that's
fast. Not quite like probably not as good as Cap or
yeah,
as Steve Rogers, but it's gonna have some
yeah.
force.
That's a Harrison Ford Hulk right there.
Yeah,
You
when I
can kind of tell.
yeah, yeah. It to me it immediately looked like the old guy. What's his name? The Colonel.
Yeah.
Is it Colonel? Colonel? Yeah.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Well, I was talking about I know it's Harrison Ford, but what's this guy's name?
Ross. It was
Was he a
yeah,
colonel or was
President
he a
Ross. He was
governor?
he was general and then
General Ross?
secretary and
Secretary
then
Ross?
president. It's not warped.
No, no, not there.
Oh,
I
are
saw
you talking about the poster?
I don't know. I saw something that
There's
looked
a
like it was
poster with his
warped.
hand over it. I don't think I have that, unfortunately.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's not
Yeah.
that one. There's something after I saw this because I was like, motherfucker. I was like, you better not damage that. Anyways, yeah,
There's these McDonald's Happy Meal toys that have like all the characters and spoiled everything, and I kind of wanted to go and like try to get them all.
I'm excited for that movie. I just
Yeah.
hope it's good. Like I can't do any more bad movies. So like, and I know we always say they're not the
What's a bad movie though?
like the Marvels.
Oh, didn't we? You didn't wait because we had a conversation about this,
Yeah.
and you thought it was a bad movie.
I we said that it needed more work. It needed to be a little bit longer. Things needed to be
Yeah.
explained a little bit better.
Yep.
Um, I
I don't
wouldn't.
think it
It
was a
was
bad movie though.
it was fun. It was entertaining. No, but it's low tier. It's like to me, it's like I won't watch it like 100 times. Like I can watch Age of
I'll
Ultron.
watch it again.
I'll watch like Winter Soldier. I'll watch over and over again. Age of Ultron. I'll watch over and over again. Thor Ragnarok. Thor 3
It
or Thor 4. I'll never. I don't want to watch that again if I don't have to.
yeah. No, I get that one.
I
I
rewatch. Sorry, hang on. Rewatching the MCU series,
yeah.
the thing we're doing. I watched Thor 2. I had to rewatch Thor 2 again. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't hate it as much hate as it used to get,
Okay.
and I
All
used to
right.
hate on it. Rewatching it, I was like pointing at things, and I was like, I like this actually
All
now. I was like,
right. There we
I
go.
enjoy this,
Yeah.
and I was like, I like this. So
Retroactively.
maybe Thor 4 will
Yeah.
come like that, but I'll need another 10 years, and I'll get back to you. But
That's fine. No, that's understandable.
I'd rather watch Thor 2 like back to back twice in a row than watch Thor 4 once. Like that's how
Oof.
much
Oof.
like I'd rather watch Thor 2 again because you know what I was like it had more Vanguard or more like
I
um
think it.
Asgard stuff in it. That was fun.
I think between for Thor and also for the Marvels, it has to be what kind of mood I'm in because there's two very different movies.
Yeah.
And I don't think. Yeah, I wouldn't like go out of my way to watch either movie to be honest. But like, if
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm down and be like, yeah, I'll watch The Dark World. I'm in that kind of mood, or I'll watch Thor 4 because there was some fun stuff that happened in that movie. It's not a great movie, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
For what it was. Same with the Marvels. I don't think the Marvels is a bad movie. I think people hate on it more than it deserves. And I do have the same criticisms from our podcast about it, so that hasn't really changed. But I enjoyed a lot of stuff that was in that movie, and the humor in that movie, and I still think the cat scene was one of my favorite scenes out of all the MCU.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying that. That's still
Yeah,
an entertaining scene, but
yeah,
I don't know if it's enough to bring the whole movie back for me because there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, this felt forced. This felt like it could have been introduced a little bit better. This sort
yeah,
of needed some tweaking. I was like, I don't know how we got here to here so fast. I don't know. Like, there's just some things that I was like, it's okay.
yeah. Well, speaking of Thunderbolt, Ross, we got
Yeah.
uh we got an update on Thunderbolts. It has a new logo and a name change. It is now Thunderbolts with an asterisk.
Hmm.
It's literally they changed it to have an asterisk.
Okay. May 5th, 2025.
Yeah,
Isn't that it's near your birthday?
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always the pandemic screwed up the you know the streak,
Yeah.
but I still appreciate these movies
I
coming
think
out on my birthday.
because I used to love going. We used to always go see all the
Oh
movies
yeah, it was
together, and
all the
now,
time.
but now
Even
none.
before we did, it was I think it started like around the first Raimi Spider-Man movies.
I think our whole friend group now, if they don't have to go to the movie theater, they
Yeah,
never will again.
everybody's got kids, man.
That too, but I really don't think there's any convincing your brother to go to a theater.
No, no, no. Like I've talked to him several times. For you, he's like maybe for your birthday if that's like what you really want to do, but like I
Yeah,
really don't want to go to a movie theater. I'm like I get it, fine. Um,
yeah.
but uh, I feel like the asterisk it might be a bigger deal than we're thinking because I don't think there's no reason why they put that there, right? Like
I have no idea.
I'm wondering if we'll know more on Saturday because Marvel's gonna have their Comic Con panel on Saturday, which I will be live reacting and discussing on our Twitch channel on twitch.tv/SpawnTrapTV. I don't know who's gonna join me if anybody is, but I will be there and we're gonna discuss the news as it happens.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm interested to see what happens. But what we do know is that David Harbour wrapped filming. Or did he?
Hmm.
Because this post was taken down. This was from his Instagram. It said, wrapped, loved making this, loved the bolts, hashtag Thunderbolts, hashtag Red Guardian.
Huh.
This is a poster from the. No. Maybe it took it down because this poster was there. But we didn't sign an NDA, so fuck it, it's on the screen. So,
um. Yeah. I don't know. When it comes to the names of stuff, I've
yeah,
got a headache from just trying to remember half of the things that have delays or have name
yeah,
changes or are in the works. I'm like, I can't even
yeah.
remember anything anymore because everything has a delay, everything, whatever. And Agatha renamed herself and
Well, we're
renamed
gonna get
themselves.
into that. That might be next, actually. Let's see here.
Yeah, they
So
re-
first of all, we knew it as Agatha House of Harkness,
yeah,
okay, and then
probably a better name. I like this
the
name
House of
probably the
Harkness.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my number one
Well,
name. I think.
well,
Let's go
too
through the
bad
list.
because it was changed to Coven of Chaos, as we've
Yeah,
discussed on the podcast before, I believe.
also
What?
not bad.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it's gone through we haven't talked that much about Agatha and some of the updates on it since our previous podcast.
Really, I feel like we
That
talk
has
about it every
changed
fucking week.
to that has changed to Darkhold Diaries. So we
Yeah.
went from Coven of Chaos to Darkhold Diaries. Small update on the movie. Catherine Hahn was interviewed about the show, and she said it's going to surprise you. Oh wait, hold on, it's changed its name again to Agatha the Lying Witch and with Great Wardrobe. And then
Hang on.
then we
Hang
got
on. I'm
another.
right. Wait. Go back. Go
Okay, you
back.
got yeah, and
I'm writing all these
there you
down.
go. You can write that down there. Okay,
The Lying
the Lying
Witch.
Witch with great wardrobe.
That is actually a hell. I
That's
love the guy who came up with that. They're like, hey, hold on. We have to stop production
I
because we need
like
to rename it.
every time I
And
introduce
then
the show on the podcast, or whatever, I say like the ever changing title of mysteries or something like that.
yeah, it's
Because
so funny. It's so funny to be like, guys, he came up with this great name. Is the Lying Witch with the Gray Wardrobe? And then the next day they sober up and they're like, never mind. Why the
yeah,
fuck did we think that was good?
yep. Then we got an update. It's the date has changed for the series, and then oh, hold on, it's changed again to Agatha All Along. Get it? It was a marketing trick. This was always the title. Isn't it funny?
Yeah, that's a terrible name compared to. I honestly,
Yeah.
I like House of Harkness or Coven of Chaos better.
Why don't you just call it
'Cause-
Agatha?
what?
Why didn't they just call it Agatha?
Yeah, they should, because you know what? I've never seen so much marketing on a like a not top tier character that will probably
Yeah.
like. Could you imagine if they did all this marketing for She-Hulk?
Everyone's
Because people,
favorite Marvel character, Agatha.
yeah, yeah. Guys, we have to get the name just right. They're expecting this from us. Like that's crazy. They're just doing so much work
Yeah.
to get this so right. Like, what if this movie bombs like She-Hulk? Like
I
all
don't
this they
think I
did.
don't think it would. Well, did She-Hulk bomb? I don't know if She-Hulk bombed. I think the problem
Well,
with She-Hulk production wise was that it cost too much money. That's at least the word that we got from Tatiana Maslany.
yeah, but people make fun of it on the internet. Every one of my friends who was a show
People
or
like it
like
though.
a Marvel fan,
I see people split on the show, man. There's some people that love the show.
maybe it's just people with me who are like, I'm like, hey, did you watch She-Hulk? They're like, no, I couldn't. And I was like, yeah, me neither.
I
And
want to
then
watch it with you, man. I think we have a fun time watching it.
everybody at my, yeah, maybe we'll do like a weekly. I'll watch
Yeah.
like one episode
There's
and
a
then
lot of stuff. It's like, oh shit, this is happening in the MCU.
yeah.
Because just watching it.
I didn't. I only watched the first two episodes and I didn't think it was great. But I watched Hulk
Mhm.
not able to stop a Jeep, and I thought that was. I was like, how can you
Okay.
not stop a Jeep? I'm like, you're the Hulk. You could just put your hand there, and she wouldn't be able to drive it, and he couldn't stop a Jeep. He also
Because
jumped on the Jeep and he didn't crush
because
it.
she Hulk when was she
You can't add
was she
more gas to a car.
That's yeah,
You
no,
can,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
you can't just
Because
because you have a lead foot on the gas, it ain't gonna make the car unstoppable to drive. I'm like, if anything, she should weigh so
what
much
if
that
it's a
the
Hulk
Jeep.
car?
But Hulk should be able to. Yeah,
Yeah.
unless it's a specific Jeep he made just so he could drive it as the
Yeah.
Hulk. So because it that way when he weighs a ton, he's not like weighing down his own Jeep. But come on, he should be able to stop the Jeep. I don't know. It's a
I
lot.
well, we're not talking about She-Hulk. We're talking about Agatha,
That's true.
the
But
much more important show here. We got a
okay,
trailer for it.
yeah. Name aside, Agatha All Along, and you know me, I didn't really care for WandaVision because I don't like laugh tracks and I don't like black and white movies. Uh, this doesn't look that bad.
I
I
know,
I
right?
I I'll give it a shot. I don't care. I don't like this actress either. I don't like the actress. I didn't like WandaVision. Um, but this, I should say I didn't like WandaVision. I don't know. I didn't. You know what? I didn't like WandaVision, but I appreciate that it was a good show. I can appreciate that it's a good show. It
Yeah.
just didn't really grab my attention. But this looks good, and I like that it's coming out around Halloween because it'll give me
Yes.
something new to watch. So I think there's a 2 episode premiere in September.
Yes.
So is
Is
it
it
gonna
gonna
go like week
wrap
to
on
week?
Halloween? Yeah, it's gonna be week to week. I don't know how many episodes it is.
Yeah, because I was like, if it's only like 6 to 8 episodes, it'll
Yeah.
probably, well, yeah, that'll probably bring you into somewhere in October. I might, because you and I, because I was gonna wait till it all came out and I'd watch it like around Halloween. But if you and
Yeah.
I are probably gonna do a week to week episode anyways, so
Yeah. I mean, we'll try. We'll try
yeah,
our best. I definitely want to.
eh.
I don't know
Well,
how much theorizing on an Agatha show I can do,
yeah,
but this does look fun. It looks like a mix of spooky
yeah, we gotta
and
wear Halloween hats.
sure, sure. Yeah, it looks like a mix of like a spooky show and a comedy and action and the creativity of WandaVision and like a whole bunch of mix of stuff.
Yeah.
We're just basing this on one quick trailer, but I do like the actors in this. I do like the vibe. And I do like Catherine Hahn. And Aubrey Plaza. And yeah, I think
Oh,
this
I
is
do
gonna be a
like
fun
her.
show.
I do like her, Aubrey.
Mhm.
So I'm happy that she's in it. That
Yeah.
that I was like, ooh, I like you though. So this will be
Yeah.
sick. So my vibe from the trailer, it looks like she's a detective now with no magical
That's
abilities,
how it
and then
starts, yeah.
then she finds the body of Wanda Maximoff. Just looks like it's in the middle of nowhere
Ooh, do
and
you
not
think
up on
that's
that
Wanda
tower.
Maximoff, or do you think that's just? I just thought it was
Well,
just a random body.
yeah, but did you see the fingers? The fingers had the black spell book
So it was a
on
witch. for
Yeah, as a
sure.
witch. But then why did it say W Maximoff on that thing? It's like sign the paper itself.
I think it's her coming to realization that her mind's been messed with, and she's like
Mhm.
snapping out of it. Like Aubrey Plaza's character is there saying like, "Hey, that witch played a game with you, and you need to snap out of it." And then this is her journey to, because I think all of her power was taken away, right?
Yeah,
So,
she says something because she's stuck because she said now that the witch who put
mhm,
that hex on you is dead, it's
yeah,
gonna be like impossible for you to like whatever get her powers back or something. So she has to go down this witch road to like
yeah,
get her powers back, and it's either she's gonna die or get her powers back,
yeah,
which I thought is kind of a cool idea. But I was like, wow, you could just go down a road and get your powers back, and they're like, yo, you're gonna
yeah.
die, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's like a life or death thing. It's not like you just do some spells and you get your powers back.
I'm
Um,
excited for this because it's gonna explore a darker side. I mean, I think the show's going to primarily be comedic based, but
yeah,
it's going to show a darker side of the MCU in general because we're going to be introduced to more witchcraft and it looks like demons and stuff like that. And this stuff exists within the MCU and the kind of like bigger implications of what that could mean for other characters or other series going forward. This is kind of like introducing that side of the Marvel universe in a way that I think like Blade can introduce vampires and stuff, right? Or
yeah,
have we've seen from monsters with Werewolf by Night.
yeah,
So I'm interested in them like introducing that stuff into the MCU, and this is the perfect avenue to do that because you can't just throw this into like uh, a Thor 5 movie, right?
yeah,
So like,
yeah. That's true. You could throw it in with like I guess with one of the Doctor
Doctor
Strange
Strange,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, sure, yeah,
But I think we're gonna be. I think next time we see Doctor Strange, we're gonna be fighting incursions, which is I'm
yeah,
also excited for. So,
yeah, for sure.
um, do you think at all in this we're gonna see? Do you think Wanda Maxima or I forget the actress's name.
Um, fuck.
I'm so bad at remembering names on the
Elizabeth
fly. Olsen,
Olsen, yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen. Okay, do you think do you think we're done with Elizabeth Olsen, or do you think
Now,
we will see her brought back? Do you think this could lead the way into her coming back, or we might see her in this, or no?
maybe
Yeah.
I I doubt they would get Elizabeth Olsen to cameo on this show. I
Oh,
think you're bringing back that actor. It's gonna be for something bigger.
like oh yeah, big thing. I wonder if this could be something like some sort of side effect from the show
Yes, yeah, for
could
sure it
bring her
is. Yeah.
back. Maybe
Oh,
that could be something that
bringing Elizabeth Olsen back?
yeah.
Oh,
Like
maybe,
do you,
maybe like it plants
like
the seeds into something in the future. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, like, I'm not saying she might be not be in this, but, like, maybe after the last credit of the last
Hmm.
episode might be something of, like, Wanda Maximoff coming back.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm just speculating. Maybe it's a long shot, but I'm like, maybe it
I
could
think
be the
what's
little side road to
I think what's
bring her
more
back.
likely is that we would see as an end credits tease or whatever, Vision.
I was gonna say that next,
I
yeah.
think that's more
Vision.
likely. We know that
Yeah.
Marvel's trying to make a Vision series.
Yeah.
So,
White Vision.
no, see, okay, I have a problem with this. And I keep meaning to
I
bring it
knew
up.
I knew you were gonna say
Have I
this
brought
because
this
I
up on
said
the podcast before?
yeah, when I called them White Vision.
Okay.
Or
It's just
Silver
Vision.
Vision.
It's just Vision,
Yeah.
okay? Everybody brings up White Vision. It's not,
Yeah.
it's the original Vision.
Yeah, I
His,
know.
his complexion has changed, but it's still Vision.
I know. That's why I said White Vision specifically because I know you brought this up before. Gotta stop calling him that. Okay.
uh,
Yeah. It actually does look good though. So
yeah,
I was surprised because I usually hate on Agatha a bit, but I think it'll be fun. Jess is excited
yeah.
for it. So
We got some other news here. I'm gonna try to like go through stuff quicker if I can, but I think this is one that warrants a conversation. We got updates on Fantastic Four.
okay.
A lot of stuff since we've last talked. So, the first thing is we've got cast updates. This here is I know I'm gonna butcher names. I already forget what all the names are. For Fantastic Four. So we have Julian Garner. Do I have that right? Or Julia? Julian. Okay. She's playing Silver Surfer.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we got a
and
female Silver Surfer, huh?
yeah, I've seen so many people upset about it. Like, why is Silver Surfer need to be a woman? And it's like, who fucking cares? It's like the most generic character that is
Yeah,
not does not have to be like a specific gender for their background or history or anything. Like
yeah.
of all characters, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I just I can see why
Fucking
people get upset, but I'm like I'm not gonna get upset. Like it's this one specifically, it's just a silver person, so who really cares?
I
It's an
it's
alien.
like
It could be
just we
whatever.
got to complain about everybody now, right? It's like,
No,
oh,
no,
that wasn't how they were originally drawn in the first panel of the comics from the 50s, you know?
it
Like,
is just weird that they do that though. Like that'd be like if you're like,
okay,
oh, we're gonna make Peter Parker a girl, and then
director
we're gonna
has a
make Spider
vision. It's
Gwen
like this
a
is the
boy.
best actor for their
Yeah,
vision. So that's
yeah,
just leave it alone,
yeah.
man.
I
There's
don't
so many
care.
other things to be upset about. And
Is
we're
Kevin
gonna
Feige behind this?
I don't think Kevin Feige cares. I think the director's like, "Hey, this is who I want," and he's like, "Cool."
It's like
It's
it's
an
Kevin Feige.
actor for an
Yeah,
important role, and it's a
yeah.
good actor, so let's do it. Like I don't,
Saying Kevin Feige hasn't steered us wrong, so like just
yeah.
he's gonna make something good. So
Except when he's been forced to when Disney was under different leadership for a brief moment of time.
yeah,
But we're not gonna get into that. No, there's other things to be upset about. We'll get into that soon, but this is not one of them. Um, let's talk about other casting though. We got Ralph Ineson cast as Galactus. I think he does voice work mostly.
okay.
The British actor. Let's see if I can get his roles because I know people were like freaking out, being like, "Yes, that is Galactus." Um, his other
Well, he's
credits.
probably gonna mostly be animated and behind a mask,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
don't
for
really need to
he's
see his
definitely
face.
gonna be animated. Um, uh, his credits include playing Amicus Caro in the final three Harry Potter films, William the Witch, Dagmar Cleftjaw in Game of Thrones. I'm not the Game of Thrones guy, so I don't know if you know. Um, and then oh yeah, that small role in Guardians of the Galaxy as a Ravager pilot. Um,
Huh. He looks
but
familiar, but I just
yeah,
watched Guardians like 2 the other day, so maybe that I don't know.
I think he has mostly voice roles, but I guess he has that kind of voice that fits Galactus, like a deeper kind of
Sure,
gruff voice.
sure.
Next we have John Malkovich, cast in an undisclosed role. I don't know what that could be. I feel like I know quite a few Fantastic Four characters, but I nothing off the top of my head. Maybe I would say like maybe the father of Reed and Sue, or not Reed and Sue, Sue and uh Johnny Storm.
Yeah. Who's I was gonna say I was like, wait, they're brother and sister? Are they brother
No,
and sister in this one? And I was like, wow,
no,
they're really changing this up, huh?
no.
They're a love affair.
Sue and Johnny Storm, because I think
Yeah.
their father had an important role in the Ultimate Comics from what I remember.
Who's the thing again?
Who's playing the thing,
Yeah,
or
who's the voice?
the guy from he's from The Bear, I think, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, I like him. Yeah,
Okay.
I remember. I was happy with that because he plays angry really well and
Yeah.
grumpy. So he's gonna crush that role.
Next we have Natasha Leone as an undisclosed role, I think.
Okay.
Um, I I have no idea. To be honest, I have no idea. I'm trying to think of like Fantastic Four characters, but nothing comes to mind yet. Um, the biggest thing though, and this I think this is going to be controversial and worth the discussion here. Kevin Feige has confirmed, based on the marketing here, people kind of put two and two to equal four. And they came to the conclusion that hey, this looks like it's set in a futuristic looking 60s. And he's confirmed, yeah, it's an alternate universe set in the 60s. Not
Oh, cool.
the sacred timeline.
Cool.
How
I
do
like
we
that.
feel about that? You like it?
I like it because I'm like, it's too late to introduce things into the MCU and be like, oh no, now these people are just like coming by. I was like, give me the background story of them in the 60s. And
Okay.
with all the different multiverse shit, anyways, you can throw them into our timeline later. I'm like, but tell me that they were,
How do you think they're going to do that?
I don't know, Loki's got all kinds of stuff that he can just, uh, who knows what's gonna happen in Deadpool? The TVA is still a thing in that one and whatever, but
I'm kind of upset about it because I don't know why we necessarily need to have them in an alternate universe. I think they just be for scientists that had the experiment. I mean, it could set it back and they could just been gone for a while, but I think you could set it at any point in time and just be like, um,
then
this
then
happened
people
there.
wonder, yeah, then people wonder why they weren't part of the fight
Well, you
and
could set it.
stuff.
You could make it happen after,
So
like
they just got their
this.
powers after.
Yeah, this got
Yeah,
powers after, but like, or if they, I mean, there's so many things that involve Fantastic Four, like having to leave to alternate dimensions or space or whatever, that they could be like around and then they just had to disappear for a while and then come back after they dealt with whatever they needed to.
yeah,
But it is interesting. I will give you that. So I mean, they haven't really had a whole movie dedicated to something that happens outside of the sacred timeline. So
yeah.
this is definitely a first for that. Um, and I don't know if that's going to be a precedent for other things that they want to start introducing outside of the MCU. And at that point, do you call it the MCU anymore? Like, it's
Well,
very weird to think about.
still the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
I mean,
even if it's
it's a different universe at that point.
just a cinematic universe. It's just a movie universe, isn't that what
Yeah,
MCU is?
the MCU is it's a shared universe. All these storylines go together in the same world,
Hmm.
right?
Well, maybe yeah. It's they could have plans later, so
Mm.
that way if it bombs and the fans don't like it like the other Fantastic Four movies, be like, well, it's in a different universe, so we don't need to add it. I think it's a safety. I think it's a safety net
But
because
I
fans are just hating
yeah,
on a lot of stuff lately. So it's a safety net because
sure.
like if you don't like
Just
it,
in
cool.
case
It's
it's
in its
bad, they
own.
can cut it.
Yeah, like then the
I don't
kid.
like that idea either. I feel like we should just deal with what exists.
I
Like,
get that, but then people just wonder why things don't come in. I don't know. I think
yeah,
Marvel's just got a lot of other. There's so many people like in the room. There's so many people in their ears about like, oh, I don't know. These are the numbers from the last time we did a Fantastic Four movie. If this doesn't do well,
they didn't
we're
do
gonna have
one
to,
though. It was all Fox.
yeah,
um, my theory on this is they're doing this for two reasons. One, um, it's to honor the original comics. They were the first, like they're called the first family of Marvel. It was like the first
yeah,
big thing that like Stan Lee worked on. Be like,
yeah,
fuck it, I'm gonna write my own stories, and before I quit, and then they did so well that he kind of like had everything from there, um, and all that stuff, all these stories and everything came out around the '60s, so that makes sense that they're doing that. Two, uh, it's the perfect time to do that because they're in the multiverse saga, so I think this is going to heavily influence what's coming up for like Avengers and like the big crossover and stuff with incursions and with different timelines and stuff. I
yeah,
think ultimately by the end of this movie, their universe that they're from is going to be doomed and it might actually get destroyed and they're going to maybe become refugees in the main Marvel Cinematic Universe or they might have to go to throws with the people in the MCU and they're gonna maybe become antagonists with them. Um, but I'm curious to see what the plan is for this. And
yeah. I don't
maybe
know.
again, we'll know on Saturday. Maybe.
I'm excited. I'm excited that it's in a different universe because that way they can explore different timelines. So it would have also been like there's lots of things I would have been happy with too. Like you could have said that they just got their powers
Yeah.
and then they were all flashed out of existence. So none of them had any training with their powers yet. You know what I mean? And then they all came back during the snap and had to like readjust. Like there's so many things you could have came up with. Like all of them could have been snapped away too.
Yeah.
So
What do we have next? I already forget. Oh yeah, trailer for Venom. What do you think of the Venom trailer?
it looked better than Venom 2.
It did.
I'm not saying it's gonna be great. I'm just saying the trailer looked better. The trailer looked better. My girlfriend thought the trailer looked better. Um, the horse was pretty
The
cool.
horse, right? That's the only memorable thing. I already forget what
Yeah.
happens in this trailer.
Honestly, the trailer is really just Venom being shot with guns from like smaller militia groups,
Yeah.
and he eats like 4 people's heads at once. I just rewatched it like a minute ago, so I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." But it's he's Venom says, "My home world has found me, Eddie,"
Yeah.
which I thought was weird because I'm like, didn't you already have that with like the first one when like there was a bunch of you already on this planet? I'm like, didn't
Those were like a group of his. Like he was part of that group.
yeah, I guess so this one is they found him, but they come
But
down
like
like meteors and stuff. So
yeah,
that's
yeah. But there's a whole symbiote planet. There's a whole like
yeah,
crazy backstory with Venom. That
yes, and
it's
they
weird that this is the movie. Like the Sony series is how they're introducing all that stuff.
yeah.
But okay.
There's in this one they
Oh yeah, I
had
forgot Mordo's in this movie, but it's not fucking Mordo.
who's Mordo? Is he that weird
So
creature?
there's a lot of Morbius like shit happening in this trailer that pisses me off. Now I'm remembering stuff. Okay, right here,
Okay.
this shot right here. This is the end credits to Spider-Man: No Way Home, where the Venom symbiote was left at that bar. This guy
Right.
was right there. He was talking to Eddie Brock's Venom in that bar, and then he disappeared and went to his universe. So that's
Yeah.
that's the Venom symbiote that he's capturing. This is
Yeah.
the MCU. He's in the MCU right now. That actor
Is that
plays Mordo in the MCU. And
he's the guy who
now,
plays the wizard in Doctor Strange, right?
yeah, that's
Okay.
Mordo.
But now he's a military guy in this universe.
No, it's still yeah. So he's playing the villain in the Venom universe. So Venom teleports back to the Venom verse, right?
Yeah.
So Mordo's the villain in the Venom verse. Yet somehow he's here in the MCU, where where he's capturing the Venom symbiote. Did he cross over to the MCU to capture the rest of the Venom symbiote and then go
Well,
back to the Venom verse to fight Venom?
well, it could just be him, and then his like maybe not all Peter Parkers are Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like maybe this guy is he's like a different timeline. He never went to the
I don't think
maybe.
you're getting it, Jordan. I don't think you're getting it. Okay, okay. We have Venom. He's in his own
Yeah.
universe. He
Yeah.
gets teleported to the MCU
Right.
and to this bar. He
Right.
teleports back to his home universe.
Oh, he's in that same
right?
universe. Yes.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
have
He gets
Morbius.
teleported back to him, but a piece of the Venom is left behind in the MCU.
Right.
Now let's go back. So this actor plays Mordo in the Doctor
Right.
Strange movies set in the MCU. In this
Yeah.
movie, in Venom: The Last Dance, that's the title, by the way. We never mentioned that.
Yeah.
He plays Venom's villain. He is originally from the Venom universe, yet
Yeah.
somehow he's in this scene in the MCU,
Yeah.
capturing the piece of Venom that Eddie
Was
Brock
left.
left behind before he traveled back to the Venom universe, where he's going to go fight Venom. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. It doesn't. I feel like someone didn't think that through.
No. Remember the Morbius trailer? How much of a mind fuck we were having with the Morbius trailer? What
Oh, yeah.
of 4 different universes does that trailer take place in? And
Mhm.
then none of that was in the movie. They cut all of it.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
trusting this trailer. This trailer is bullshit. There might not
Yeah.
even be a horse.
Yeah.
Just a complete lie.
It's not even about
Fuck
Venom.
this trailer. Fuck this movie. I'm not excited for this movie.
The trailer looked on a scale of 1 to 10 for trailers.
Yeah.
I was only a little hype, and it was mostly because of the song they picked for it. I thought the song
What was
went
the
pretty
song
good with
again?
the trailer. I don't know. It just went well with
Sure.
with the trailer.
Sure.
But That was the only thing I thought was kind of cool. Um, Honestly, I'm kind of over
Yeah,
his Venom. Like, I just want them to
yeah.
scrap Venom and just redo it. Just
Oh,
make
Mrs.
Venom,
Chen's there.
but somebody else make it better. Yeah, and he's dancing with the fucking
Mrs. Chen, yeah.
grocery store clerk. I'm like, I've
Oh,
never been
somebody.
that close with my grocery store clerk in my
Yeah,
life to just be like, hey, Mrs. Chen, and
yeah.
then just dance with her as a fucking alien, and she's all cool with it.
Someone mentioned that this actor is the actor who played Lizard in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. So it doesn't mean he's playing the Lizard in this movie. But
Yeah,
if he is, I don't know why he went all hippie mode and he has his arm back. But that could very
yeah,
well be his son. Which they never really introduced in the movies. I think there might have been like deleted scenes or something. But this whole thing about like how he's the Lizard, he pretty much almost kills his son or does kill his son. I can't remember what it is. Because he's like a giant monster or whatever. I think later he tries to turn his son into a lizard. I don't know. There's
yeah.
this whole thing with his family. So maybe that could be it. Looks like maybe it's a family vacation. But I doubt that's what it is. I think he's just here as a different role.
Yeah, probably just a different role. But that is now I'm kind of pissed though at the Morbius thing though, because that's gonna bother me that I'm like, oh
Yeah.
well, it could be an alternate universe of
You
him.
can't trust
But
this.
no,
Yeah.
because in one universe he's a wizard, and in the
Yep.
same universe he's also a military guy in
Yeah.
charge of trying to keep the Venom stuff. I don't I'm I,
For all we
if,
know, he's not. He's not from that. He's from the Venom universe. But
if
he
how did
was in
he
a scene within the MCU. Like, and
right?
listen. I get
How
it.
did he get teleported there then? What?
I
Does
get
he know
it
who Spider
that
Man is?
there's been several characters in the MCU that have been played by the same actor. I get it.
Yeah.
But this this seems like really egregious to me.
Yeah.
The whole shot in this one trailer just brought me flashbacks to Morbius, and I'm pissed off.
It's like making Chris Evans play Captain America and then also making him play Sam Wilson.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, no, I'm not looking forward to this movie. Oh, we got the cop from the. Remember what happened to the cop? I can't even believe that I remember this from the last movie because that last movie was so forgettable and bullshit.
From
The-
the Venom one?
Yeah, remember the
I won't
cop?
even I won't even remember, dude.
Don't
I
remember?
watched
So
it once
there's this
and I
cop
never wanted to
that
watch.
like hated Eddie for some reason. And Eddie,
Okay.
for some reason, didn't want to help the cop at all. Or like help him in an investigation or do anything for him.
Okay,
Which
sounds familiar, yeah.
I would too, because I'm not a big fan of cops. But it was really weird for his character in the movie. I'm like, why you guys like pissed off with each other? It makes no sense. Um, but he ended up going in that last fight scene at the church. Um, he was the character who made, you remember Scream, the character Scream in that movie. He was the girl that could scream.
No,
He was
really.
basically the reason why uh I think she went to prison or something. I can't remember. But there's like a lot of guilt there. He ended up fighting with everybody in the church. Scream like jumped on top of him or was in front of him or something, and she like screamed really loud into his face. And then the last shot we have of the cop, his eyes were glowing blue or something. He's like, it looked like he was getting superpowers
It
from
sounds familiar,
the
but
girl screaming in his face. So yeah, this is him now. He's got some sort of something going on. I can't even. There he is.
hmm. I don't know this. I don't know the scene well enough, honestly.
Oh, it sounds like we gotta rewatch Venom 2.
No, I'm not.
No, no.
I'm good.
Gotta
Good.
read a
Good.
summary.
Gonna straight skip that one. I'll
Yep,
give me the cliff notes.
yep.
It's just so. It's just. Uh, most of them I will say like some things I'll be like, you know what? It maybe wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't
Yeah.
what I want.
No.
But Venom Let There Be Carnage literally did both.
Yep.
It
Oh,
wasn't what I
we got
wanted, and it was absolute garbage.
the horse scene right here. The
It was the only
Venom
thing that
horse.
kind of looked cool, and even then, I was just like, ah, it's just the. I was like, that's.
Wasn't there a
I don't
Ghost
know.
Rider horse in the Ghost Rider movie?
Sounds familiar too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this song when he's on the horse was pretty majestic.
Yeah.
It's the only thing. It's like the only part of the trailer that kind of was cool. Eddie
uh,
goes, "How fast can you make that thing go without killing it?" And
yeah.
then Venom goes, "Only one way to find out." And I was like, "Wow, that's you guys are very you guys
Yeah.
learn from testing it."
Let's really quick go into the rest of the Sony news here because this is just some brief updates, but I think they're
Mhm.
important updates. One, Kraven has been delayed. I think it was. Let me double check. This has been a while.
Delayed to December 2024.
Number 2024. Yeah. Um, we got Silk Spider Society has been canceled. I can't remember who is going to be.
Was that
Um,
because of Madame Web? Was it not good?
No, no, I don't think it had anything to do with that. But Silk is a character I love, and I would really be excited to see
Hmm.
some sort of incarnation of Silk. It's probably going to happen. Well, first of all, it's going to happen in the Spider-Man games because they teased her character at the end of Spider-Man 2. Spoilers.
Yeah.
It's not really that big of a deal. It's just one. It's just like somebody's kid is at the door. Um, but I think she's gonna be in. I think there's two animated Spider Verse movies coming out. There's gonna be, Spider Verse 3 or Spider Verse. What's it called? Beyond the Spider Verse. And then there's gonna be um some Spider Woman spin-off. I think you're muted. I can't hear you at all.
All right, there, am I good?
Yeah, yeah, you're good.
I guess I went to smash to mute myself when I was sneezing, and I'm like, I don't know if I even hit it.
Your sneeze definitely went on
Oh yeah, I
in
did.
the
So
podcast.
I muted after.
Yeah. The big thing though is that for some reason Nicolas Cage is starring in a live action role for Spider-Man Noir, and
Oh, cool.
I'm just
Oh, maybe not
okay.
him, but I
Yeah,
like I like
I'm like, why?
I like Spider-Man Noir, and I like
Yep,
Nicolas Cage is fine for the voice acting, but
yep.
in a live action, I was like, nah.
Why?
You had
Why?
yeah. Yeah, I got ahead of myself there when I said cool. I was like, oh wait, but the Nicolas Cage part.
Yeah, old man Spider-Man. Where we're getting.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not. I'm curious because Spider-Man fan, but I don't have high hopes for that. And I'd rather have
Yeah.
the Silk project than the Spider-Man Noir. But
Yeah.
okay.
I'm excited for Kraven. It looks cool. I just hope it doesn't do bad and there's always delays and I'm just like, oh man. And is it Sony
I
doing this?
yeah, it is Sony. I read somewhere. I don't remember where or how legitimate it is, but behind the scenes, Sony loves Craven. Like Sony executives are
Yeah.
loving Craven.
Oh.
Not
Did they
so much
love
with like Madam Web and stuff, but so hopefully that's good. That's a good thing.
what were
I
their
don't know.
thoughts on did they hate what's his name? Carnage then? Because
Carnage.
they fucking butchered that, so
I don't know. I think that they were just betting on the character bringing in money, just like Venom did, because Venom wasn't the best thing, but it's Venom. People waiting
yeah.
for a Venom movie for so long, they somehow really love that movie. I think Venom and like both Venom 1 and 2 did well overseas, like especially in China and stuff, from
Yeah.
what I recall. So there is an audience there, and I see mixed feedback on the Venom movies. They're just
Yeah.
not for me. Like they kind of ruined that character for me, which is such a shame because it's a cool character.
Yeah, they
But
did what DC did to Green Lantern. I'm good now. I'm
yeah,
good. I don't need Venom or Carnage anymore until it's like
hmm
Kevin Feige or the Russo brothers decide to
yeah.
make it.
The last thing I have on my docket, if you have more time or want to include anything else, feel free from the doc. But I want to talk about Madam Web, which prior to this podcast, like before starting this podcast, I was under the assumption you watched this movie, but I guess that's not the case.
Because I was like, because I think I said me and my girlfriend are watching it tonight, and then
Hmm.
there was like too many spiders on screen in the first little bit, and Jess was like, "I'm out." She's got a
What did she
crazy,
think
she has
was
a
gonna
crazy
happen?
phobia. No, I know. I was like, "But you've watched the Spider-Man movie." She goes, "I know." She's like, "I'm just not feeling it." She's like, "Maybe just like
Yeah.
another time." There were too many spiders for her, so she was out. So I tried to watch it without her, and I think I got
Yeah.
actually like halfway through the movie, and
Oh, okay.
it was probably like halfway through the movie, and then I realized I'm like, I have no idea what's happening.
You
I
don't need
wasn't
to
paying
watch.
attention. It's like when you read a book and you go through like 8 pages, and you're like, I have no idea what
Yeah.
I read. Sat there, I watched the movie, and then I was like, I don't know who this character is. And I'm like, they got in a car with a stranger and a guy was chasing them. And that's all I remember. I was like, I think he was chasing a girl and it ended up being his girl that he thought he killed his daughter. And there was a whole bunch of stuff. I was like, man, I do want to rewatch it though, because there were some people in a cage. It was just, there's people in a cave
People
and
in a cave, yeah.
there's people in a cave and they gave birth to this girl and they're like, you're gonna come back here, we're gonna tell you about your powers, and there's a lot. I didn't get to the end, so then I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot to watch that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like a while ago I was like, I don't remember this movie at all, and then I was like, oh, I didn't finish it, that's why. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, dropped the ball on that one.
Jordan, I wrote notes. I don't know. Oh wait, here they are. Okay, I was like, where the fuck did I put these notes?
Is it the more section?
No, no, no. I didn't write. I put these my own notes. I guess they're in a Word document. I
Oh,
can pull that up. I'll pull it up on my phone because I don't want to be on my cloud. Um, this movie's something. Um, I have a lot to say, but
about
I'm just
Men in
so
Web.
disappointed. Yeah, I had a fun time watching it.
Yeah,
I had fun time watching it with my brother and wife. I don't think they hated it. I did not think it was a good movie.
yeah.
Um, where I think I'm gonna have to pull these up on my computer because I don't. They should be linked. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna go from here. I'm trying not to and show my computer here. Uh, hang on. Let me make sure I align this properly. On this. Okay. First of all, we start off in the Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Start off
Oh,
in the
here we go.
Amazon. Stop me wherever you think you stopped the movie. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're looking for one spider. Apparently, this one spider exists that everybody knows about, but nobody can find, right?
Right.
But we show later that I think it's shown that there are more than one spiders, but nobody can find this one spider.
Right.
Um, but also these people in the rainforest, they have one as a pet, so you know, not that elusive of a spider.
Yeah.
Um, the dubbing in this movie was so bad. Like I think there was like several characters had like you could tell they dubbed in their lines, but the villain 100%. Why? Wait, I don't care about Madam Web spoilers. I'm spoiling the whole movie for you, so you don't have to watch it. Okay. The villain, of his lines were dubbed. Like nothing he was saying from his mouth was what he was saying when he was on the screen.
Oh, I think that's what I can't do that. Once I notice,
Yeah,
it makes me hard, and it's hard for me to watch a movie. I'm
the
like,
entire
like I
fucking time.
cringe.
Yeah. Um. Why? Okay. Apparently, this movie takes place in its own separate universe. I don't
Yeah.
understand because I like the whole idea was intriguing. I'm like, oh, this sets up stuff in the Sony Spider-Man universe, and they're gonna be like introducing like the origins of Spider-Man and stuff like that. No, no, it's just a standalone story that means nothing. So like, why was this movie set in the early 2000s? What was the
Yeah.
purpose of that? There's no purpose at all.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
I didn't notice that. I didn't realize that
you
nobody
didn't
had
notice
like
that
I
everything looked very
um
early 2000s.
dude, I remember I didn't even realize what the plot was. Some people were chasing people. I'm like, who the fuck? Why is she babysitting now? I think they were they
This guy,
EMTs?
this guy was with her mom in the Amazon looking for this
I
spider.
Right. I remember that. And
Yeah,
then she died. He found out the name, and it's like her daughter, and then there's some kids
he
involved,
didn't
and I
find out
think
though.
she.
That wasn't the issue. The issue was he got powers from the spider. That's the whole reason why he was looking for the spider. Actually, I don't
Yeah.
remember the original intention. I just know he wanted the spider and he wanted the powers. Okay, he got the
Yeah.
powers. He starts having these dreams of the future, and in the future, he sees
Mm-hmm.
that these three girls kill him, and he needs to find out who these girls are. It has
Right.
nothing to do with Madam Web. Madam Web just consequentially shows up and interferes and
Is
becomes
she an
his.
EMT?
Yeah, she was.
Okay, I remember
Well,
that part.
we're gonna get into it here, okay? So first
All right.
of all, um, uh, it's really disturbing that she had a stray cat just walk into her apartment from like the high rise
Yeah.
fire escape and shit. Like that was weird. She just comes home, just opens the window, the cat's just all right. It's not even your cat. What the fuck? Um, so she ends up having an accident. She drowns in the water trying to save somebody, and then
Hmm.
she like dies briefly in the water, and then that activates her superpowers, where she can see the future. Right? Yes, precognition. That's what her ability is.
Yeah.
So, first of all, Dakota Johnson's acting, fucking terrible in this movie. She didn't give a shit. She didn't give a shit
Yeah.
at all, and I knew that watching the interviews. It was the most hilarious thing watching the interviews because she did not give a shit. She
Oh my
hated
god,
this movie.
that's so funny.
Yeah.
I
Um.
think I think she mentioned that. Didn't she say something like they
I don't
clearly
think
didn't care?
I think she mentioned she's not going to do another one of these superhero movies again
Yeah.
because obviously because of the bad experience she had, but you
Yeah.
could tell she hated working on this movie.
Yeah.
But the villain appears suddenly. He's at like an opera or something, and he hasn't aged at all. And this was like how many years later? This is like because she wasn't even born yet when her mom died or when the movie started.
Yeah.
So he's just the same guy, just walking around barefoot, as his character does, you know. Um, and then yeah, we cut to they're having a barbecue or yeah, they're having. I didn't write down
Was
anything
it like
from
a
the
picnic?
barbecue. Yeah, it's a
I think like a
barbecue
picnic.
picnic,
I think that's
whatever.
where that's where I remember. We just stopped in the forest, and she's like, "We have to keep moving," and I was like,
Oh no,
"Why? You
that's
guys
way
are in the
later.
middle of
The
fucking
force
forest."
is no, yeah, the force is later. We're talking about like
Okay.
they're at the barbecue talking about how she almost died, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we get introduced to Peter Parker's mother, you know, May Parker. Yeah, no, Mary Parker.
Interesting.
And also Uncle Ben was there. He's
Well,
played
I
by
never watched that.
Adam. What's his name? What's the actor's name? He's from
Adam.
Parks and Rec. Adam
Uh,
Scott. Adam Scott.
okay.
He plays Uncle Ben.
Okay.
In case you didn't know, she kept saying Ben. So,
Cool.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're at this party and they're having like a guess the name for the baby, and then before she says the name's Peter, she hears a balloon pop and then she flashes back to the point where she was at. She's like, "Wow, we already did this," and then they're like, "Oh, we got an emergency. There's some explosion that happened at the Pepsi fireworks factory." Why is there a Pepsi fireworks factory?
Oh
And
my god.
then you get to the scene and they're at the scene and like they're talking about like how like, oh, this place is always a danger. It's like, yeah, why is there a Pepsi fireworks factory and why is it always on fire? Why is this like a common thing? Why is this like a big dangerous part of the city, the docks?
This is like
Anyways,
therapy for you. You're getting this out. You're finally
yeah.
getting this out.
So then she's like seeing all this stuff happening. She's trying to save somebody's life, and then it flashes, and it's her friend that she's trying to save. She's like, oh my god, what's happening? She's like, she realizes, oh, I think he's gonna die by getting into that car. She's like, I gotta stop him. Like, can you let me drive? He's like, no. She's like, okay, cool. She walks away, and he drives, and he dies. He gets hit
Yeah, I
by a
remember.
car. This truck that hit the car, the ambulance, was
Yeah.
going so fast and then it zooms out at the top, the aerial view, and Yvonne
Mhm.
was laughing. She's like, "What the fuck?" Because the car was like barreling through to the water. There was
Yeah.
nowhere for it to go. It was just gonna
Yeah.
go barreling through the water as it crashed into this ambulance.
who was laughing? Like the actress was laughing
No,
when she saw it?
Yvonne, like my brother's wife.
Oh, Avon. I
Yeah,
was like, which
she's
character?
she's like, where was this truck? That was actually the scene. I just stopped right here. This
He was just trying to take his own life, man. That car got in the
like
way.
like this shot right here in the trailer.
Yeah.
There's this shot right here. This truck just barrels through, hits this ambulance, and the shot is just like the truck was going to go driving into the water.
Yeah.
Like, okay, then we get to the next thing.
Funny.
The guy slept with this NSA woman, and he's like, I keep having this dream. These three women kill me. I don't know how I can like describe their faces or figure out who they are, but the NSA can because they have the technology to do so. Appear into
Yeah.
somebody's dreams and take an image of what three women in masks would look like without their masks, but 10 years younger. They have
Yeah.
this technology, right?
Yeah.
So, um, so yeah, he kills the NSA woman to get like the passcode to get this tech, and he hires this IT woman who's in his apartment, and he needs to make sure that this IT woman knows that he's paying her a lot of money, and that this tech cost a fortune for her to use, and that he could basically kill her, and he brings this up multiple times in the movie.
I
It's
do
like,
remember
yeah,
that.
I get it, dude. You're trying to be intimidating. You don't have to say, like, Liz, I went through a lot of work to get this.
Yeah.
I paid a lot of money. I have superpowers that could kill you. Like, she's obviously fine working for you, dude. Um, anyway,
Maybe
Dakota
don't go after
Johnson.
these.
Go ahead. What?
Maybe don't go after these fucking girls and piss them off to the point where they're gonna kill you. You're gonna
Yeah.
your own demise here, bro. I don't think these people are just after you.
Yeah. And
Dakota
then,
Johnson, what though?
so Dakota Johnson's having a bad trip, but she decides she needs to go to this guy's funeral anyway.
Yeah.
So she takes a bus. She's on the subway, and this guy's playing a PSP, which wouldn't be released for another 2 years, but he's got a PSP. Um, anyway, uh,
Yo, their universe is just ahead of ours, bro. That's so funny to look up stuff like somebody was just like, I don't know, make it 2002. Well, what if there's things before
yeah,
2002? I don't know. Do your
it's
best.
it's a Sony
And that guy's
movie
like,
that he's
I'm
got to
not.
have a PSP. Okay.
Everybody else is
Um,
looking around like, I'm not gonna do the research
all
on
right.
that. Like, nobody else cared.
So, anyways, she sees a vision of Ezekiel walking into the train. And he's barefoot because that's what his character likes to do. And then, anyways, he kills the three girls. Sees them kill him. And then I can't remember if that vision he was wearing a costume or not. But when she eventually convinces them to leave the train, he appears at his just normal. He's just in normal clothes, right? Barefoot because that's what his character likes to do. And then so he leaves the train. He sees them like off the train or whatever, and then the girls are like, "Oh, Dakota Johnson's trying to kidnap us or whatever." She's like, "No, no, no, I'm not the one you need to be worried about. You need to be worried about that guy who's crawling on the ceiling and had time to change into a costume. Like, why is he
Yeah.
he entered the train ready to kill them without a costume, but he had to change it to a costume, and climb the ceiling, where
Yeah.
like apparently nobody can see him, but it was pretty obvious he was on the ceiling, and he changed it
Yeah.
to a costume.
I do remember that.
Anyway,
It was really weird. It always bothers me when someone's on that costume. In
yeah,
the next scene, I'm like, did you take the time to change
yeah,
that?
you had the nanotech.
Yeah, I
So
guess
that's what
so.
happened, right?
Nanotech robes.
Anyway, so they hop onto another subway, and then you hear the subway, uh, uh, driver be like, "All right, everybody, we're about to," and then he dies, right? Because
Yeah.
for some reason Ezekiel killed him. I don't know why he had to do that.
Yeah.
And then so they get off, and they're trying to flag down the police, and like, yeah, 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 you're arrested. I'm like, why are they fucking arresting her? Like, nobody, like, first of all, nobody gave a shit when she was screaming like, oh, this woman's here to kidnap us or whatever, right?
Right.
I'm like, I have no clue why these police are trying to kidnap her. Then because I think first they were chasing Maddie, who was the skateboarder, right?
Right.
They were chasing her, and then for some reason they stopped chasing her, and now they're chasing Dakota Johnson's um, Cassandra Webb. Um, so I don't know why that changed. Um, so anyway, they're leaving. They're in a first of all, Cassie commits Grand Theft Auto, and
Yeah.
steals somebody's taxi cab. They're driving away, and then they're listening to the radio like, yeah, they're looking for that guy, and they're like, no, we're looking for this woman in the red coat. And then she's like, well, why are they looking at me? I have no fucking clue. Like why every police force in New York is looking for Cassandra Webb all of a sudden out of like a 2 second interaction when this other guy came and started killing officers,
Yeah.
right? But sure, whatever. And then she's like, okay, if anybody doesn't want to be here, you can go. Like, and then she's like, I'm not kidnapping you or whatever. So Maddie tries to leave and she locks the door. She's like, no, wait, you can't go because you're the only witnesses. I'm like, oh, okay. So Grand Theft Auto and kidnapping. You are kidnapping these kids,
Yeah.
right? So, if you didn't catch it, Maddie said, my uncle can help us out. He works for a newspaper. That's
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Okay.
So yeah, so J. Jonah Jameson's her uncle. Julia Carpenter, the girl that was sitting in the middle with the glasses. For some reason, they changed her name to Julia Cornwall. Don't know why they did that. That's not her name.
I don't know any of these characters, so none of this is all news to me.
Just things that bug me.
I will have to rewatch this movie though,
Yeah.
like so I remember. But yeah, that's something I'll ask remember. I think they were chasing them through a bus. I think I got further than that, but my mind stops at the fact
It
that
doesn't
they
matter.
got to like.
This movie, you don't need to, like. I'm not spoiling anything important. This movie
No.
doesn't matter. It's just.
Yeah,
it's
I was
just
say,
a
I was like,
dumb
wait till I
movie.
watch it. We'll do a podcast where you can tear it
No.
apart. But you're getting this out right now.
No,
so.
I'm getting this out right now because I'm not gonna watch it again.
No, it was that bad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
watch it again.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the actress really didn't seem like she wanted to be in this movie, which is
No.
really. It's like this could have been your big break, but
yeah, and then so they get away. Ezekiel's pissed off. He tells the IT lady, "Hey, you gotta find them because he went through a lot of trouble to steal that equipment. In case you didn't know already
Yeah.
from the last time we said that." Anyways, they go to the woods for some reason.
Yeah.
And then she just fucking leaves. Just let you guys just chill here for 2 hours. She leaves the girls in the woods for 2 hours. Just go back to her apartment.
while someone was trying to kill them.
Yeah,
That's
while
funny,
someone was
though.
trying to kill him.
You'll be
And
safe here. How do you know?
So anyway, then they leave and go to a restaurant that's seemingly close by, right? Like, yeah, there's just a restaurant that's closer. I don't know if have you got to this point?
No, but maybe I don't. Honestly, you can go ahead. I don't remember. So
Okay, so this is
Doesn't
all.
sound familiar.
I'm just letting you know what's happening here in the movie, okay? Because it
Yeah.
doesn't matter, okay? You just go watch the movie and laugh like, yeah, this was dumb. So anyway, she leaves to go to her apartment, to look at a picture pretty much, and then she goes back, but they've left to go to a restaurant that's somehow close by. But when they arrive, it's suddenly nighttime, and this guy is reading a newspaper, from events that happened that morning. Like, how is there a newspaper for this already, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, these girls have been kidnapped or whatever, and this guy sees him and makes a phone call. He's like, I found
It's
these
the
girls are in
fastest
the restaurant.
newspaper.
Yeah. So then,
Well, I mean, they got their PSPs 2 years faster.
yeah,
so, I mean,
exactly.
their
Yeah, they
newspaper
got
must be-
advanced newspaper. Daily Bugle's on it, man. We need nightly newspapers now. So yeah, so they Ezekiel's IT lady intercepts the call, and she's like, "Oh, I found them in the restaurant." And then so Ezekiel's like, "Patch me into police dispatch." So apparently he can do that as well. He's like, "No, forget it. We don't need anybody at the restaurant. There's nothing to worry about." So he's driving his way to the restaurant. Cassie shows up at the woods. The girls aren't there. So she's like, "Where are they?" She's like following the trail of where they left, and she somehow gets to the diner that's close by and almost the same. Sorry, I'm jumping a little bit ahead. So she gets to the bar, and Ezekiel's there in costume, and she starts seeing him kill all these girls. I gotta fix my mic as I'm talking. And it turns out that's a vision. She saw a vision, and she's like, "Oh, I got to get to them faster." So she takes a car,
Yeah.
and she gets there the exact same amount of time, like almost exact, like a second earlier, right? There's
Yeah.
just that much time that she saved. But um, uh, also what happened was that she had to swerve into where the restaurant is, and there was this truck in front of her, and she swerves, she like goes around the truck like the wrong way, like unnecessarily swerves around the truck when she could
Yeah.
just waited and turned. Like I'm like, there's no point of swerving around the truck the wrong way. Um anyway, Cassie drives into the diner and like crashes into Ezekiel so that
Yeah.
they can run. So yeah, so
That sounds familiar too.
so she committed another crime. Um and then anyways, they go to like a motel, and then she's like, I gotta leave you again. And she ditches again to go back to the scene of the crime that she committed. Which apparently is another vision that she's having. Because she's like
Yeah.
talking to Ezekiel's potential future self
Yeah.
when he's like looking into the scene of the crime. Okay, whatever. Um, so then she comes back to the motel and she teaches them how to perform CPR. Okay,
Oh my god. Yeah.
and that's how they form a bond and a friendship apparently. Um,
Sort of. That might sound familiar, unless
yeah.
I'm not sure, but
So then she's like, yeah. Anyway, I gotta drop you guys off at my coworker Ben's place and his pregnant sister-in-law so that I can leave to go to the Amazon.
you guys stay here though.
Yeah.
Where you'll
So
be safe.
she goes to the Amazon and she's like she meets the tree people, and
I
then
do
they
remember
have
that.
yeah then they oh so you got pretty far into the movie. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say you got pretty far
Yeah.
into the movie. So she had they have the spider bite her or something, or she drops into water. I can't remember exactly what happened, but she sees
This is the like they said they've been waiting for her to come there,
yeah,
right?
they've been waiting for her to show up into the
Yeah.
Amazon.
I got to this point, and then I was like, "What the fuck have I been
God,
watching?" And then
I
I
know,
forgot.
I know.
That's why
So
I don't remember it.
she has a flashback to when her mom was pregnant with her,
Yeah.
and she was like trying to speak to her past vision of her mom, saying like, why did you hate me? And I'm like, wait a minute, was it established anywhere that she thought her mother hated her? I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
so I was asking my brother, and like, yeah, they said it in the. I'm like, I was not getting that impression this whole movie. That just came out of nowhere for me. Um. Anyway, then she said, she spent so long being mad at her mom. I'm like, I did not get that from your lack of emotion this entire movie.
yeah.
So, and then she pops out of the vision, and the guy's like, yeah, not only can you see the future, you can be in multiple futures at the same time, which I thought was like a metaphorical thing. I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. Like that seems like a cool concept that might come into play later.
Yeah.
Um, no, we'll get to it, but she literally splits herself into three.
Oh
So she's
yeah.
at three places at once. I'm like, that makes no fucking sense. But okay, for a person who could see the future. But
Mhm.
okay, whatever. And then instead of saying, yeah, you know, what's the Spider-Man line, Jordan? What's the famous Spider-Man line?
Uh, the oh my god, with great power comes great responsibility.
No,
That
you're
one.
wrong. It's when you take on the responsibility, great power will come. That's the phrase. Anyways,
Fuck
uh
you, Uncle Ben, you lying sack of shit.
for some reason, I don't get the context here, but Ezekiel threatens the IT woman yet again.
Oh yeah.
Then Cassie somehow comes back to New York very quickly, and then she steals another. Or no, she drives back with her stolen taxi still. How is she still driving around in her stolen taxi?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, she gets to Ben's. Ben's not there. An
I
ambulance
mean,
comes.
she came back from the Amazon and got in the
Yeah,
stolen taxi.
yeah. She drove back in the stolen taxi. She still has it. It
Oh
makes
my
no
god.
sense.
All right.
But she goes to Ben's, right? Ben's not there
Yeah.
because Mary's having birth. They have to rush to the hospital. That's what happened. So,
Yeah.
and they're like, girls, you guys gotta come in the car, or whatever. You know, put on a little hoodie so nobody sees you. That's pretty much the disguise, right?
Wait,
So they're
is Ben's wife pregnant?
no Ben's sister-in-law.
Okay, Ben's sister-in-law. I was like,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I was like, wait, Aunt May had a baby. Okay, go on.
No, no,
Sorry,
no.
continue.
Yeah. So Richard Parker's wife,
Yeah, yeah.
Mary Parker. Yeah. So that whole I don't know if I wrote this note for this, but that was pretty much the point where Yvonne was like, "Wait a minute, I don't get these people the relationship with these people." So that's Uncle Ben, and that who is that? And I was trying to like explain. I'm like, okay, so like that's his sister-in-law. Richard Parker is Peter Parker's father. Mary Parker is Peter Parker's mother. May Parker is his aunt. Ben Parker's his uncle. Whatever. She's like, okay, so
Mhm.
they're like we're like having the discussion trying to like I'm like, yes, it's confusing, there's May Parker, Mary Parker, I get it, right? And
Yeah.
she's like, but like who? And then there's like a pause and I'm like, yes, I like, yes, I know Peter Parker also has a long lost sister that nobody talks about. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yes, I know, we don't have to get into that.
Is that actually a thing?
Yes,
Oh my
he
God.
has a sister, and it's not brought up anywhere, but he does have a sister. Um,
She's older then? Obviously older, right?
um, I don't remember. I think they had like a secret child. So she's like she for some reason she had to go away. Peter Parker didn't know about her for a long time. Discovered her later.
Mm.
And I can't remember her name exactly, but Peter Parker does have a sister. So
Interesting.
every movie that interprets him as like an only child and stuff like that, not true. He has a sister. I don't know if they'll ever bring that up in the movies,
Hmm.
but that was just a funny moment. They're just like trying to figure out the the aunt and uncle situation. I'm like, yes, also he has a sister. They're just it was just a funny moment. Uh
Oh my God, how
anyway,
much longer is this movie?
it's near the end, but there's still a lot of bullshit that happens. Anyways, so Cassie's at this house. They're not there. They had to leave to the hospital. An ambulance shows up, and try to knock on the door, but nobody's there. So Cassie commits Grand Theft Auto again and steals the ambulance.
Do you have all these on notes still? You
Yeah,
just
I
wrote
have
on
all
your
these
notes?
on notes. Okay, she steals another ambulance. She steals an ambulance to try to get to them. Um, and then there's like these because um Ezekiel has this stolen NSA tech. He can hack into all the cameras in New York apparently. So
Why did you just do
that
that the whole time?
I don't know. I think that's what he did to find them in the subway at the first time, right? Like we got to match three girls are in one place at the same time. Anyway, so they're driving around the corner and this camera catches um Maddie looking to like the side of the window with her face exposed. Like, oh, we found them. They're driving away the hospital. They're driving like down here or whatever. He's like, okay, I gotta go catch them. Um, and apparently, the IT lady also has a tech to turn all the traffic lights green. That's what she just did. I'm like, okay, I guess you have that tech too. Um, so somehow Cassie drives an ambulance up to like a roof. And so like Ezekiel's like in his costume, like ready to attack them while they're like stuck in traffic. And like,
Yeah.
what's that? Who's that guy? Whatever. And Cassie fucking drives through the roof and fucking hits Ezekiel.
Is that from
Like
a
through the roof.
parking garage?
Yeah, yeah, it's like a parking garage with the ambulance. She just like drives through, just like crashes into him so that they can run away. And I remember at that point, like the cameras, we were seeing the cameras, and it's like, oh yeah, that's like something from like whatever movie, and I'm like, no, it seems like the God's Eye camera from like Fast and Furious, like this bullshit tech that can see every camera in the world, right?
Yeah.
And then the moment the ambulance like just crashes into Ezekiel, I'm like, yeah, that right there is Fast and Furious. That's kind of
Yeah.
bullshit right there. Um, so anyway, Cassie has a vision. She knows how to control her powers now. And she's like, I got this. We need to go to the Pepsi fireworks factory to say to protect ourselves. That's the most important place in the world right now is this Pepsi fireworks factory. So they go to the factory, and then there's this big whole long bullshit fight where she can see where all the fireworks are going to explode. She's like, light all the fireworks in here on fire. So there's just fireworks going off left and right. The whole building's exploding. They have a fight on the rooftop. All the girls are like dangling at some point because they're like holding on for life. And then she splits herself into three to save all the three girls. then that's how the that concludes itself. And then the villain dies because the Pepsi sign falls on top of him. He gets crushed by a Pepsi sign. That's how the villain dies in this movie, Jordan. How
Not
stupid
even
it is.
not even by the girls.
Nope. No, he falls over, and then the Pepsi sign crushes him. And then so Cassie falls into the water, and she's like falling down, drowning, whatever. And then somehow doesn't predict this, but a firework flies into the water and just like sprays her in the eye, and then that's how she becomes blind. She didn't see that coming apparently. And then the
So what
girls
what happens that sets wrong? What?
Yeah, so she's
Repeat that.
drowning. She's drowning, and
Yeah.
one of the Pepsi fireworks shoot into the water and explode in her eye, and then so
Hmm.
she gets blinded. So the
Hmm.
girls dive in, they save her, and they resuscitate her because she taught them CPR. See, it comes
Oh,
back
nice
full
job.
circle. And then
Yeah.
so she's in the hospital, and she has like a completely different like calm Zen attitude. And then she's like, "Yeah, these three girls are my girls." So she's like saying like they're close family now. This whole Pepsi fireworks factory situation brought them all together. Um,
Yeah.
so 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 yeah, I'm like, damn, that sucks, man. She woke up blinded, definitely lost her job, definitely going to jail. Man, that
Yeah.
sucks, right? So then they cut to her in her apartment. She's wearing like glasses or whatever, and she's just in a wheelchair. She's like driving around, and at this point, Yvonne's like, "Wait, why is she in a wheelchair?" And I just fucking died. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, I have no fucking clue why she's in a wheelchair. That made no fucking sense. Why she's in a goddamn wheelchair?
With the blind girl?
Yeah,
Maybe they just is she on it like permanently or just coming out of the hospital? Because
it seems
maybe
like she's just crippled now. She's in a wheelchair. Oh, she's
out,
like, why
out
is
of
she in
the
a wheelchair?
hospital out of the hospital could make sense because I think they always wheelchair you
No,
out of
no,
the
no. She's
hospital.
in
But if
her
you're just
apartment. She has
yeah,
like an electric wheelchair. This is her
oh,
wheelchair.
she went all out, eh? She wanted all of the any kind of insurance money
Yeah. And then
whatever
the
she could
girls
get.
show up in the apartment like, we bought you food, and she's like, they didn't have this, but and she's like, no, 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 the other food's okay. And they're like, well, how did you know? I'm like, cause she can tell the future. This
Yeah.
whole movie, she told you that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my god. And that's pretty much how it is. They're like, oh yeah, and I can see the future, and you girls are gonna be like superheroes. You're gonna have these costumes or whatever, and you're gonna live like the best lives. The best thing about the future is it hasn't happened yet, or something like
Where'd
that.
they get their costumes from? Do they get them by the end of the movie
I
or
don't
no?
know. No, you think there's a movie went into that?
No.
The
I guess
vision
not.
of the future. They have their costumes in the future.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they don't even have the superpowers by the end of the movie.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
no! Wow.
no,
I
that's the
thought we were gonna
movie,
see
Jordan. That's the
I
movie.
thought I thought we were gonna see some superpowers by the end. I'm like, wow, these three girls need superpowers by the end of this movie, or maybe they
Dude,
have it and they're hiding it from us till later.
yeah,
Oh wow.
the quick shot of the future that they had is like it's always the same scenes, but
Yeah.
Julia Carpenter has like this, like kind of like a magic spider web. It looks like a Doctor Strange spider web. It's like
Yeah.
glowing, which is weird. She doesn't have that power in the comics.
Yeah.
Um, but now I get why her character, like, I'm like, something seems off, because I've wanted that character in the movie so bad, because her costume's cool, and it's actually
Yeah.
inspired Venom. Like Venom's inspired by that costume. But
Yeah.
it looked weird. I'm like, why does it look weird? I'm like, oh, she doesn't have the white eyes. Like they took out the white eyes so you can see her like actual eyes. Like she's got
Mm.
big black frames around her eyes, right? I'm
Yeah.
like,
Give me one sec. Jess is leaving for work, so I just want to say bye.
all right.
Give me 1 second.
I'll talk. Yeah, so they like remove these eyes. So it's just a regular eyes. But I kind of get why they did that for the movie. First of all, to show the actor, because it's Sydney Sweeney, so you gotta have like the main, or one of the main actors show up on the I should have a one cam. Let me see here. Do I have a one cam? I do have one cam. I got the Spawn Trap one cam. So yeah, they like cut out the white eyes so that you can see her regular eyes. It just looks weird to me because I'm so used to the character with the big white eyes, and I'm like, something seems off, but it's still a pretty cool costume. But I get why they did it in the context of this movie, because, um, in the context, he's seeing her in the future, so he needs to use the NSA tech to like discover who it is. He needs to be able to see her eyes and her face in order to like make her look like a real person and younger for the NSA tech, apparently. Which I don't know if this tech can do all this magical stuff. Why doesn't it just magically discover who the face is with the mask? I don't know. The other characters had masks too. This movie was bad. Don't watch it. So, I had fun watching it, but it's not a good movie. It's not a good movie. We had fun watching Morbius. If you wanted to go back to our Morbius discussion, or whichever podcast that was, but um, like I think Morbius was a better movie. I don't think Morbius was as bad as people made it out to be, but this movie was not good. It was not a good movie. It was fun watching. It's like a funny meme movie, but other than that, it's so upsetting because I like all of these characters and I was excited for these characters to show up on screen. I was excited for the potential story that they were going to tell from the trailers and everything. It's cool. It looks like Terminator meets Final Destination meets Spider-Verse kind of, and it could set up a lot of stuff and they just didn't do any of that. It was just a wasted movie and it's so upsetting. But yeah, while we wait for Jordan to arrive, I will mention that this Saturday, so I'll bring this up again. This Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have the Marvel Studios at Comic Con. They're going to be announcing a bunch of stuff upcoming with their movies. So there's going to be a lot of announcements coming out there. I don't think it's going to be live streamed, so I can't do like a live stream reaction to it. However, I will be discussing the news that's coming out of it. So I'm trying to see if somebody can join me. Jordan said it's a possibility, but not to like count on it. Same with other people I've been talking to as well. So far it's just me. So it'll be just me there going through the news and reading what's going on, but also filling in other stuff that we didn't get to go through in this podcast because we were focusing on specific topics. So in between the news, because there's going to be a delay of what's going on, I'll bring up some other stuff that we couldn't talk about, some smaller stories in the news, just to fill in that time and get get some time and filler out of that podcast. And then hopefully, if all goes well, whether it's just me or not, I have somebody else to co-host with. Either way, if all goes well, it will hopefully be uploaded later to YouTube, so it will become an episode of the Hit Pause MCU podcast. So hopefully, it'll be the next podcast that you're seeing after this. If this gets uploaded before then, I'm kind of very busy, so I don't know if I'm gonna have time to upload this. But that's the intention anyway, is to just record a live stream reaction on Twitch and then upload it later on YouTube and have it act as one of the podcasts. So hopefully we could see you on Saturday for that at twitch.tv/SpawnTrapTV. We don't usually do live podcasts. The live streams are typically for like reaction stuff for our gaming side of the podcast. So such as Summer Game Fest. We did all the reactions to all the Summer Game Fest announcements. So those are done live on Twitch and YouTube. Sometimes we'll do exclusive live stuff to Twitch. Like if we want to do a live podcast, it'll be done on Twitch and then get uploaded later to YouTube. The reason for that is just because of how it shows up on YouTube, pretty much. So there's live stream videos and then there's pre-recorded or uploaded videos. They kind of act a little bit separately on YouTube, especially on where they show up on the channel. So if you're looking like, oh, where's the latest episode of the podcast? You go to our channel, it's like, oh, it's not there. It's like, or in the latest videos that are uploaded. It's because if it was a live stream, if we just did it a live stream, it would show up in the live tab, and it not always, obvious that that's where you would go to find that stuff. So, yeah, when we're doing live stream reactions, it's like, oh, we're doing this live. You know that it's a live stream and you missed the live event. When it's a podcast, it's better if we just upload it later. So, welcome back.
All right, here we go.
All right. Do you want to end it or do you want to add something?
There was one thing I wanted to talk, just because I was looking through the more section, just like some things. It says Michael Douglas wanted Hank Pym to die in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Is that
Oh
the
yeah,
is
we
that Hank is that Hank Pym?
that's Hank
Is
Pym.
it Michael
I
Douglas the
remember
actor?
I mentioned that to you like as one of the topics we didn't get to.
Yeah.
But where is that? I can't remember how he said he wanted to. I think he said he wanted to explode.
Oh, that
Um,
does sound familiar that you said that. I
um,
like I like the character Hank Pym, but the actor's getting older. There's not much more else to explore since
yeah,
you like we've had 3 movies and you didn't really explore them as much as like it could have been. So like it's probably time to wrap that up.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, okay. Well, that's way too good. Okay, so yeah, this on IGN. Michael Douglas wanted Hank Pym to die by shrinking to ant size and blowing up. Wants me
yeah.
like that's one or where's his exact quote? This actually was my request for the third one. I said, with all these great special effects, there's gotta be some fantastic way where I can shrink to ant size and explode. I don't know, whatever it is. I want to use all those effects.
Yeah. I
Um,
like that. Like I thought his character should have been killed off in the movie. Not that I have nothing against his character. It just felt like that's where it was going because we just got the mom back and like when movies don't do any takeaway, I'm just like, okay, so we're just like it doesn't make me feel very much. I'm like, gotta have takeaway. Like
I think
I,
they
I, I
again
still
when
think
we
Chris Pratt should have died in Guardians 3, even though I love Star Lord.
the reason
I
for
think I
that is because it's Chris Pratt and they want to use him in more movies.
for sure, but
Yeah,
I think I wrote a great fucking
yeah.
ending for him though. But
And again, for the Ant-Man and the Wasp, when we had this discussion, I think we both thought Hank Pym was gonna die and that Scott was gonna be trapped in the quantum realm. But I get why they didn't. Like, it probably would have been more impactful in that movie if both those situations happened.
yeah.
But they had those situations in earlier movies where like someone you love was trapped in this other world or potentially died or whatever to like set up the story for his character going forward. Um, and I get why the director said, no, 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 we're not going to repeat the same story every time. We're going to change things up and they're going to have a happier ending.
Right.
So I get it. Anything else on the doc?
Uh,
You got to remember to erase that after.
yeah. I mean, there's lots I want to go through on all this, but I like
Mm-hmm.
that Zoe. Is it Zoe or Zoe? Zoe
Zoe.
Saldana. Zoe Saldana thinks it would be a huge loss if Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't return. That's obvious. That one is
I think her meaning was that like she's still done with Gamora, but
right, but
she's
she thinks that the Guardians should like continue with the Guardians franchise and keep doing more movies.
yeah, and I can't remember if she said like if somebody else would play Gamora.
I
Speaking
don't think I
with
want someone else to play Gamora. Like I
yeah,
don't think
I
it.
don't think I would either.
I don't feel like Gamora's character is done. Like I like it where it
Oh,
ended, but I still would like more with her, and
yeah.
I just
So
thought it would be
she
great.
was hinting that. So she said she would be in the first row to celebrate the returns of the Guardians of the Galaxy, though she hints that she thinks it would be a good idea for Marvel to recast her character Gamora.
Mm.
That I mean, so far I think that she is gone for good for me, but I don't think Gamora is gone for good. I think it would be a huge loss for Marvel if they didn't find a way to bring back the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just such a fun fan favorite group of misfits, you know. And then at the helm, they had a voice like James Gunn writing, which is just so marvelous and very specific for this genre, and it's so great for the genre as well. Do you think it's?
Yeah.
Do you
There's
think
so many
it's?
beard. Sorry, there's so many beard hairs in my keyboard. I just realized.
uh, do you think it's a case of the makeup doesn't want to do it, or just the fact that it's James Gunn? She's just done with the character.
Probably a little bit of both, but
Yeah,
my immediate reaction was the James Gunn thing. Like even there's another one right in there that says that Star Lord would return. Chris Pratt said he would return as Star Lord with James Gunn's
he's
blessing.
definitely coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll come back. I hope James Gunn has something to do with involved. Like his directing and those are just so perfect. Like this probably the best franchise, the best trilogy in the MCU. Like the other ones have like just okay movies or like amazing movies, but like the 1, 2, and 3 for Guardians. Captain America is probably number 2 because Civil War was great. Winter Soldier was great. The first one was really good. I don't think it was like amazing, but it was really good. Winter Soldier was just probably up there in one of the best movies.
I think definitely Star-Lord's coming back. I think honestly, I think I said this before. It might have been on the McClunky Squadron podcast, but I would love the Guardians to come back in an animated series. I'm not
Yeah,
done with
that's
those
true.
characters. I think the franchise would work very well in animated. You would get to explore still that cosmic side of the universe with these fun characters. Maybe the actors come back to voice the characters, maybe they don't. I don't know.
Yeah,
But either way, we can still have more of those characters. I mean, definitely Dave Bautista's not coming back for Drax, but I mean, maybe have somebody like voice his role. I would love to know what's happening at Nowhere, like what's going on with the crew of Nowhere.
yeah. Why doesn't Dave Bautista want to come back?
He's done with Drax.
No, is that yeah?
He's
Is what he said.
yeah, he said
I
he's
liked. He was so good at that. I remember everyone pretty much said they weren't going to come back, but I think if James Gunn wrote something really well, it would be good. But Dave Bautista's ending was probably the perfect ending for Drax. So there's still more I want out of Mantis though. Like Mantis
yeah,
didn't really get like a full closure. She just went off to find out what it is. I'm like, well, I would love a limited series of like
yeah.
animated of her. Like that'd be sweet.
Yeah, I would love. I would assume that she's coming back at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Anything else from the doc?
Uh,
I'm erasing stuff as we go, so that way
yeah.
we don't double up on the next podcast.
Dave, but he still wants to play a Marvel or DC villain. That sounds cool. So he's
Um.
like Dave, so it's the top one. So he's done with Drax, but he would love to play a villain though.
I don't even remember this.
It's probably just something he said.
Yeah. Trying to make. Let's see. Where's this from? GameSpot. Um, speaking to Gizmodo. Okay. That I love the universe, the superhero universe. I love it. I'm a fan. So Marvel or DC, if they call, I would answer the phone, and if the role makes sense, I'll be all over it. Um, I I would I just would like the opportunity to do a bigger role, a different role, maybe a deeper role. I love the opportunity to play like an ominous villain in the superhero universe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see him being a really cool villain. I'd be down for that.
I'm sure he has a role
In mind,
in or I'm sure James Gunn has a role in mind for Dave.
yeah. Is James Gunn gonna do more Marvel stuff in the future, or is he like all DC now that he's got to go back to
It
the?
would be nice, but he's all DC right now.
Yeah, he's probably got
Which,
too much
by the
time.
way, um, so I don't want to announce anything right now. Hypothetically, we've had this discussion before. Um, would we be? Uh, do you think it would be a good idea if we had a DCU uh hit pause DCU discussion when Creature Commandos?
Um, I don't even know what Creature Commandos is, and I
That's the
don't know anything about.
first project in the DCU.
By James Gunn,
Yes.
then yeah, I'll be there for it.
I'm trying to see. It's the 2024, so it's supposed to be this year.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we can do that. That sounds good. So why not? Yeah, I'm down for that.
we'll have
It's fun.
a longer discussion off podcast. I'm trying to find the date because it is this year. It's going to be
My
animated though.
my friend from China came back and she brought me this candy, and it's just a
Okay.
candy that tastes like milk.
Okay. It tastes like milk.
Yeah, it's just a milk flavored candy. Isn't that weird?
What kind of milk? Like
I
is
don't
right
know too. It
like from a
it's
weird animal or
no. I think it's just
okay.
supposed to be like it's just a candy that tastes like 2% milk. If I had to guess.
I don't know if I would want that in a candy.
Yeah, it was weird. It's very chalky, but I was like, it
Yeah.
tastes like milk. It was
Milk
very weird.
chocolate, but like
And no, this is just milk flavored
okay.
because it's all in like I can't read it. Like I don't know if you can,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was
Yeah.
it wasn't bad. It was like a
It's just
chalky
weird.
milk.
Yeah.
It was yeah, because it was like a chalky kind of candy. It was kind of like what do you call those? Those Popeye sticks.
Oh,
It was kind
okay.
of
Yeah, yeah.
it was kind of
Yeah.
like that, but it
Fake
was
cigarettes.
softer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a little tiny little cube, and it was
Hmm.
a little softer than a Popeye stick,
Okay.
but it was just milk flavored.
I mean, I don't hate those. Ooh,
No,
the
I know.
family.
Yeah, but this was just milk flavored. I wouldn't even say
Okay.
they had like a sugar or like I
And it's
don't.
sugar. It just tastes like milk.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like a Popeye stick. Popeye stick tastes like it has a really
Yeah.
good like flavor. This was like I was like, yeah, this is kind of like if I just had a glass of milk. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I was like, thanks. What a weird thing to bring back from China
Yeah.
for me. Thank you. I always wanted milk candy.
That's a weird candy.
I know.
December 2024, by the way, for Creature Commandos.
Okay.
It
All
will
right.
be an animated series. But it's like setting up the DC universe.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
Cool.
Animated, eh? All right. It's harder for me to get
That's
into
how they're
animated
starting. They're
stuff.
starting with animated.
Yeah, yeah. Set up the DC.
Uh,
Yeah,
and,
okay. Yeah. Unless there's anything you want to dive into, the rest we can do those later.
anything you don't want, I'm going to bring up on Saturday when I'm doing the live reaction to the Comic Con stuff.
Yeah. No, nothing else.
Yeah,
Sophia de Martino wants a Sylvie and Thor crossover. That sounds interesting. And then Evangeline Lilly is stepping away from acting. Is that
that's a
Wasp?
big one. Yeah, yeah, that's the Wasp. That's a
Yeah.
big one actually. We'll end on that. Shit, where is that? Right here. That's I am shocked. Really. Um, I'm very critical of the actor. I've been
Yeah.
critical of actors like Letitia Wright as well, over similar situations. But uh, Evangeline Lilly's a great actor, and I love her portrayal of the Wasp,
Hmm.
and she was poised to become a bigger deal in the MCU. Like
Which
and maybe she
yeah.
still is, but like the Wasp is a huge character from the comics. She is a founding Avenger,
Yeah.
and we have two Avengers movies coming up where she could potentially play a huge role, and she's one of the big names of women in for like MCU heroes, like a huge character for like a lot of like little girls to look up to and everything. The person herself, not so much, but the character. Um, so I'm shocked, but yeah. So she wants to do other things. She basically, I think she wants to live her life and be with her family. It's pretty much what she said. She probably
Okay.
has the money to do so for quite a while. So, but you know, whatever she wants to do, more to
Yeah.
her.
Huh, no, that's fine. I was wondering if it was like I was my two thoughts was either it's a medical thing or it's a family thing. I don't know. I didn't have
Yeah, it's
anything else
family
in
thing.
mind, but those were literally my two thoughts. So
She have
interesting.
a quote here. She's
That, that sucks because
yeah.
I did like Wasp. I liked her as Wasp, and I thought that was like that sucks when you're like you did all this work and you're getting there, and Wasp was gonna be trying to give her a bigger deal, and they're like recast.
Yeah. Where's the quote right here? This is for. So she did an Instagram post. Um, thank you. Okay. She said, I'm filled with joy and contentment today as I live out my vision. Praise God. I feel so grateful for my blessings. Stepping away from what seems like the obvious choice, wealth and fame. I can. This doesn't seem like the starting quote here. So, the beginning of the article from People said she's stepping away from acting. Um, I might return to Hollywood one day, but for now, this is where I belong. A new season has arrived and I am ready. I am happy. That I am terrified to admit this to the rest of the acting world, but ideally, 10 years from now, I'd like to be a retired. Where's... Oh, it's a video from 2006 from when she was on Lost. She was on a beach speaking about her hopes for the future. She said, I'm terrified to admit this for the rest of the acting world, but ideally, 10 years from now, I'd like to be a retired actress and I would like to have a family. I'd like to be writing and potentially maybe influencing people's lives in a more humanitarian way. So I guess that video propped up and she said she's stepping away.
Well, that's all I got. That's it. The other ones are kind of like I can look those up, or they're kind of self-explanatory. So I'm good. I'm good there.
Yeah, and I'll bring up whatever we didn't talk about on Saturday at on our Twitch channel, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. So there's going to be news coming out of the Hall H panel for Marvel Studios at Comic-Con. I'm just going to be reading and reacting to stuff as it gets announced, hopefully not from clickbait accounts.
Yeah.
Very hard to do so because, Twitter is Twitter. And
right.
I gotta find reliable sources for this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just gonna be reading stuff as it happens in between the filler time where it's like nothing's happening or no news is coming out. I'll be bringing up stuff that we didn't get to talk about, and that will hopefully serve as the next podcast for Hit Pause MCU. And then we will have a discussion after we watch Deadpool and Wolverine. So
absolutely. So hopefully earliest next week. Latest, I'm thinking at least 2 weeks out, but I'd like to see Deadpool as early as possible. So
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll get a time for the.
Try to get that popcorn bucket.
Yeah. Anybody else that wants to go? Like, I think me and Jess want to see it. Yeah.
No,
I think just you. I think it's just gonna be you, me, and Jess then.
No, my intention was like I didn't think anybody was gonna, because it's gonna, like, I don't even know if our availability is gonna line up.
Mm-hmm.
So my intention was just be like, whenever I'm free, I'm just gonna go to the theater myself, because nobody wants to go to the theater anymore. So
do you usually have like Tuesday nights off? Because it's also cheaper Tuesday nights, so we could go.
No, I don't have like specific nights off, so it's just whenever I'm free.
Okay.
So
yeah, let me know. I don't know what Jess's schedule is next week. It was all perfect because we were both like on days. I'm always like I'm pretty much all days now, unless I pick up a couple I don't know, like bartending shifts. But my distillery work is all during the day. So
yeah, we'll figure it out, and then we'll have the discussion afterwards. But what did you think of Madam Web if you watched it? I can't even hear our outro. Is our outro playing?
I don't hear it.
It's not working. All right. Hold on. Hey, I clicked on it. Hopefully that works. All right. We're gonna leave. I'll see you all on Saturday, hopefully. What do you think of the MCU, where it's going forward? What are your theories, and what did you think of Madam Web? Let me know in the comments below, and if you have any questions for us that we should bring up after we watch Deadpool and Wolverine. No spoilers though in the comics, just like topics of discussion or whatever. We'll wait for the spoiler talk afterwards. Keep an eye on social media or Discord or whatever when we want to ask the spoiler questions.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll do that. But anyways, thanks everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.